you, Yad man. We bring it back.
Oh, just call me Adam. It's
Adam,
easier.
okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Whatever works. Nezo works for me. Mezzo, Bad Shop, that guy from Canada.
That guy from Canada. Hey,
That
everybody.
YouTuber from-
Oh, hey, everybody. It is 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We are here with the RC Drift Talk Show, and we've got Chris in the corner, we've got DJ, and we've got Nezo. Nezo's finally on the stream.
Hello. Bonjour. Hello. For those watching from Quebec, actually, bonjour.
So,
Comment ça va? And hello, everybody else. Hello, guys. Hello, everybody. Yes.
yeah, it's, 10 p.m. already over there?
It's 10 p.m. I'm in the Eastern time zone, EST, because you guys are, a lot of you are in, where are you, CT? PT?
PST. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember half of them, but yeah, because you guys are at least 3 hours behind me, I think.
Yes.
2, 3? Yes.
Just 3.
So we got people, yeah, we're connecting in from everywhere. So
Yeah,
it's
and then
10 p.m. out here.
Chris is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. You're going to get sandwiched by our time zones.
Yeah.
I mean, he probably gets the benefit out of it. Oh, no, we benefit. Nezo with his own green screen. No.
Yeah, we could go to all kinds of places. I could pretend to be where you are. Hello, I am where they are. That's what it would be. Yeah.
Okay, so last week took a really far left turn into door dashing and all that fun stuff, which was really fun. But we'll try to keep it on RC Drift Talk this time around.
Nice.
Hopefully, although fun things do happen.
We got DoorDash up here. We got DoorDash, Skip the Dishes, Uber, and
You have a service called Skip the Dishes.
Skip the Dishes. So the idea is someone was thinking, you don't want to make dinner, you don't want to wash the dishes after. That's annoying. So just skip the dishes, order something. I was
Okay.
like, oh, and it just took off. So
Okay.
you want to door?
Yeah,
Dash
already
to
in
the
left field. Dang it. No.
No, we won't go there yet. We'll go there later.
So just to kick things off here, just the few calendar events that we have. This coming weekend is the final round of Oregon SDC, round number 5, July 18th. So if you're in the area, if you just want to check it out, come swing by Drift PDX. It's going to be a fun time. We'll figure out who wins. Good guess is the guy in the corner right now. DJ, you ready?
I'm as ready as I will ever be.
Hey DJ, you're winning right now, right? On points.
Yeah.
Yep, that is correct.
Oh, congrats, bro.
That's
Thank
better.
you.
Like 1 and 2 are pretty much set in stone, and then third place is like the high contention spot.
Nice.
At least that's what we figured out from the last stream.
So
Anyways.
you help judge the last rounds,
Huh?
DJ. So if it's already set in stone, are you gonna help judge or are you gonna compete?
Oh no, I have to kind of compete. Essentially, like, basically, long story short is if I'm pretty sure if Jake TQs, I at least have to make it to like top 16 or something like that.
Mhm.
But if I TQ, it's pretty much locked in for me. Or wait, and I might still have to pass 16. But anyway, I still have to comp. I thought about it, but once it was, to the spot where it's like we're kind of battling, kind of have to go in and battle it out.
Yeah, that's it.
Austin sending you shade. DJ is always ready, but not for painting that body.
No, not at all. That's why I'm trying to get it ready.
What body is it?
Oh, this is that GR86.
Well, you see, they're working on stuff. Those two guys.
Yep.
Earlier, I was like, Chris, what's going on in your world? And he's just over there. He's like, I am. What did you say earlier? You're like, I am just fixing things, and he's just reefing away.
doing official track change layout, and
Oh, that's right. Yes. Okay.
yeah, and
There's a lot of buffing and sorting and wax on, wax on off. Yes.
yeah. No, it's I'm here inch by inch, peeling up my tape. It's leaving residue, so yeah, it's
Oh,
Yeah,
hey,
there it is. Check that out, y'all.
Nezo, did you post any pictures into the Roast My Rig or the Discord?
Oh, I forgot actually. I
Okay.
did forget, but I think I have some I could quickly fire into there during the broadcast.
Cool.
Think about this, yeah, because there'd be some things. Actually, yeah, probably, yes, because hold on. To clear my throat there. There was my buddy Leo's car, the prototype car, the stuff I've been dropping a couple videos on the last
Mhm.
week or so here, the one I just dropped today as well. You can roast that if you want.
It's an interesting
We can-
car.
we
Like I
can
see a
roast
lot of polls from other chassis too.
You see
Pretty
a
cool.
lot of the inspirations he's done. He's loved doing that, remixing, coming up with stuff on his own, and then just remixing other cars or trying stuff or putting parts you would never put on certain things. Like either they're not compatible and he makes it compatible. So he's one of those type of guys. So now the fact that he's come up with his own full car creation, much like how Felix Pigeon in Quebec did with the TDP, the PE1. I'm pointing this way because I think Quebec is that way towards where I am to the east. But yeah, since Felix did that years ago, and that was worked very well as a conversion kit, then became its own car. Leo is kind of thinking of doing the same thing. He wants to make a conversion that can go on to some chassis, like for the front end type of thing, I think mostly, but then also create a whole car kit.
Mhm.
So I think the whole car kit is where he's at now, because the whole thing is about 90% his own brainwaveness, like all his creation. And there's a couple pieces of Reeve D and little other things, axles or whatever, just until he fully fabs those up. But yeah, the thing works pretty dang good, and geometry looks pretty good. So it's interesting. I could put a picture of that in there, and put a picture of maybe my opera thing under there, and something else. I don't know. I'll find some stuff. We can roast some stuff. Yes. I saw that part. I'm like, ooh, roasting rigs.
Well, I mean, that's if people actually decide to contribute to that. We've gotten to the point where the people that are posting it's just all done stuff. Like it's all finished. It all looks nice. It's
Oh yes. So it's like roasted. Oh, it's very pretty. Wow, color, amazing angles. It's so sharp. Ooh, shiny. Blind my eyes.
yeah. No
Actually,
lie.
there was one car I saw in there, and it, in the roast my rig recently was posted, and it had a huge first place trophy beside it. And I'm like, oh yes, a winner. Let's roast a winner. This is always fun.
Is that
but it was,
Miko's?
I think-
That's Miko's.
I think it was Miko, but I was seeing that photo actually. I was like, oh, I'm like, all right, he actually got a big dub, I think, finally, because he's been hunting a dub for a while, has he not?
That's a good question.
Miko. Like I've been seeing updates of different point series, different competitions, this, that, here or there. Miko's always been in the mix, and I've been waiting to see him punch through, and I think finally he punched through and got that dub. A meaningful W in the last little while. He may have got some point series stuff here or there, like from stuff I've seen posted here or there, but amongst everybody's things. But just seeing that, I was like, oh, okay, nice, yeah, because he's been on the grind for a bit.
I still think it's like really interesting at how much of a wash up that like RC drifting can be. Like you'll see different people on the podium almost every single time, or if they are on the podium consistently, then they are really that good of a driver. Like,
Oh yeah,
RC
we've seen that
drifting
up
is
here too in Canada.
yeah. It's like for me, watching everybody compete, it's just as much skill and quite a bit of luck, depending on like how you get into your brackets and stuff like that. And
Luck's
you
a
never
big
know.
one.
You never know what's gonna happen to your chassis or anything like that.
Part failures and stuff, and it's like a couple of my buddies. I usually play mechanic, like I am on duty just in case. And a couple, one of my buddies, I think he's in the chat with us, MJ, my buddy MJ. He's on Team Strictly Sideways, running a Reeve MC3. I think he's got MC3 now. It's an RDX. I think he MC3'd it. Anyways, it wasn't an MC3 back then in this recent comp a couple months ago. And it's one of those things. You think you've gone through your car, you've checked the things. My car's running good. Okay, it's clean. Everything's good. No weirdness. Da. And then you're pounding it in practice. You're like, yeah, I got to get those lines. I got to do this. Got to work with my teammate. I got to practice. Drifted it. And all of a sudden, and I got yanked out of the pits. Nezo. And I'm like, well, what is? And the car comes to me from the side of track, and all I can hear is. Next thing you know, we're ripping the entire transmission apart. 2 idlers are blown. Hey, maybe you do your bearings too. Okay.
Was it a GRK?
No, it was an RDX.
Oh, dang.
So this was the thing. I was like sealed gearbox, gearbox, right? Not a gearbox you'd normally check. It has a flappy door on the top of it, so you can look in. And he figured, no, everything feels fine. Car feels good. My gears should be good. He figured he changed them in the last little while, or maybe they were the originals, or they were the original from the previous owner because he's second owner of that car. Just as an example, right? But other cars like MC1s and Rhinos and GRK, no, GRK so much, not so much GRKs, but like cars like MC1s and things that have open gearboxes, you can visually see your gears a lot more often, thus predicting the extra backlash and the destruction of your gears and input shafts and stuff like that. So that happened, and then like a month or two later, Mr. Spicy, Adam Torres, RDX MC3, during competition, during the round robin quarters, or during the finals part battles, his gearbox exploded, or an idler destroyed or something, and some major failures in his gearbox. And he said the same thing. I had no idea. I thought I checked everything. Everything felt good. Blah blah. And the next thing you know, in the middle of the competition, boom. And it cost him the win on the battle, I think it was, or something like this, because I was reading about it and I'm like, we literally experienced that here. It's something I'm seeing a little bit more and more on the service side. So that's the whole luck thing.
What do you think that's causing the issues? Because it's like, I feel like we're in a generation where I've never seen so many idler gears or just at parts in the gearbox get roasted.
Mostly from the service side, from what I see, and then also driving. I've said this in a lot of my videos during shakedowns or my own driving when I'm showing off my own driving sort of stuff. I am a very sort of heavy foot, kind of aggressive boosty boy kind of guy, like hit the boost, stay on the boost, ride the boost. AccuVent 64K, just sit there and stay 45,000 RPM through the corner and just feather it. And so I think in the last probably 5-6 years or so, we're 2026 now, so at least since 2020, we're driving our cars a lot harder. We're pushing them harder because they physically, geometry and everything, they will go harder. And then now the boosting capabilities, the tuning capabilities, the battery capabilities, like we're getting close to race car battery, lithium high volt. Well, we're pretty much almost there.
We're there.
pushing 140 Cs, 5 millimeter bullets. And I think we're not that all of us are trying to break our cars. No, it's just the harder we drive them now because we can, they will take the abuse. They'll take it for a bit, but when they go, they go. So it's like idler gears now, like shocks. I will tell people, check your shocks every so often, every month or two. If you want, check them every session. But at least they should go 1 to 2 months before you'll notice some loss of oil or loss of, I use this example, loss of pressure return, like you don't get this. Some people do no pressure where it just does that, but you'll notice, it feels funny, it feels bubbly, right? Check your shocks. If you've done the green slime, you've built them correctly, they should go at least 6 months before you have to top them up, do some maintenance. I'm feeling now, same thing for gears, you almost have to do the same thing. His internet cut out, he'll come back probably. Same thing for gears now. Check your gearbox at least every couple of months to minimum, or no longer than 6 months, and don't go longer than a year, because it seems like they're not going to stand up to boosty boy abuse if you're going out to the track 2 to 3 times a week. Let's say I go to the track twice a week, on a Wednesday and a Saturday, so those are strictly track days, and just 2 track days all through the year, every week, that's like 8 track days a month on average. That's a good amount of driving, a good amount of abuse, a good amount of you're gonna lightning. Did you have a?
Sorry, I switched phones.
He swapped.
His phone died.
Yeah. But anyways, we're with the gearbox thing. Yeah, gears. I think we're just driving it. I got a couple phones too. I do the same thing. Switch phones. One's dying. Blah blah. But gears. Yeah, I think gears are going to be something you're going to have to pay attention more to. Just because some of us, me, definitely, I'm aggressive boosty boy. Some of us are driving harder. Pushing the car harder. If you run on bigger tracks and you're just doing a massive, like a lot more sweepers, that's strictly, we're a smaller kind of track, so we usually have more technical layouts, but you want to maintain massive angle in a small tight corner. How do you do that? Put your foot down,
right?
Mostly. So but then, like, okay, belt cars, conversely, gears to belts, that's a good topic actually. Gears, we're seeing them shred in about a years of heavy driving, this or that, or if the drivetrain takes a weird shunt or something else in the drivetrain, fails, like a bearing, drive shaft, or something, and it rips up the chain. But belts, GOM cars, people that converted D5s, the
Sharks.
D6s with belts.
Yep.
The
sharks are in that mix.
Right? Anything else that converted to a belt or was a belt, GOMs as well, overdose GOMs, or they start life as belts. I wondered how long under heavy driving and like forgot to mention boost braking, where you're like brake, you know, you're just sitting there boosting and braking. I do this a lot, especially when chasing. I wondered how long belts would last, particularly, and stand up to that abuse. And for the most part, the bandos do a good job. Especially when they're set tensioned right. But sometimes I see them just starting to fray early. They don't explode, but I can tell, oh, okay, they're starting to go earlier than later.
Mm-hmm.
I prefer gear over belt. Not that I hate belt, but belt is better for race cars than it is for drift cars, I think. But it is a driver preference, feel, and all that sort of thing. So I don't hate a belt car. I've found that I do prefer the gear for driving style. And sort of the way the maintenance goes.
Mm-hmm.
Here's like, depends on the transmission. You may have to open the whole thing, you might not, you may have to do half, whatever. The GOM, you got to take like the whole thing apart. Some cars are just like that, but yeah, so the gear thing has become more noticeable. I've seen more people posting about idler gear destruction where it appears to happen out of nowhere, but then when you sort of trace it back and think, especially with the MJ situation, I'll find him in the chat later. But with his situation, I was like, okay, you know, and I call everyone Ricky from Trailer Park Boys or Richard. I'm like, Richard, you know, what's good with your gears here? Like, we've blown them up at the comp. Did you not check these, or did you not? Like, he's like, well, you're the mechanic, and I'm like, well, you're the owner of the car. But then I'm like, okay, hold on. You didn't buy this car brand new. You got it used. And who was previous owner? Okay, owner strictly, our buddy Brett. And I'm like, all right, they're probably the original gears from when he first built the car. And they've just stood up to the abuse, and they've been good. Or he replaced them once, probably a year before you got the car, and now it's a year or something. By the time we traced the lineage and the time lineage back, it all kind of made sense of, okay, this is why they failed exactly at this time under heavy loading, like in the middle of a practice train or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
He was drifting on the track in his practice group, whatever, B, C, or whatever, and apparently he heard his car go by the stand or close to him, and it was like like just like that, and he was like and I thought, oh, spur pinion, okay, simple. Next thing you know, I'm like, the spur pinion looks fine, it looks perfect. All right, we gotta box get
right.
it. I'm like, come off the stand, dude. Oh no, walk of shame. But we threw it back together, and I think he made it into the top 16 or top 8 or somewhere around there. He had a good go, so you know, we did we filmed it as well. That was the best part. There's a whole video about it, and we actually had someone film him driving off, and I can hear his so it's pretty good. It was a nice kind of emergency. Whoa.
That's never a good feeling for competition days. Like,
no.
Then I find that you have troubles trying to trust your car for the rest of the day.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
And he sort of felt like that because he was like, "How bad is it, Rick?" Like, you know, like in surgery, sort of, "How bad is it? Oh no." He was kind of like that, but he's holding the camera, so he has to be good there. Oh. And I'm like, "Well, we fried at least a gear or two here. Let's replace this. Let's replace that." And I'm like, "These bearings probably original, bud. They're probably 3 or 4 years old from the original owner." So I'm like, "Elite Drift Shop. Literally, the shop is literally 2 seconds. We'll go run there and buy bearings," and he's running off with the camera, or whatever it was. He run off and bought bearings, and oh yeah. So I was like, let's be smart. I have the whole thing open. I've done like a Hail Mary, you know, tear down here, like whatever, and people were walking by looking like, holy cow, what's going on? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Like, you know, English and French, going, oh my god, what's this? But then they're like, oh, fried gear. Okay, oh my god. Oh, and they're like, it's Nezo, it's fine. You'll be back up and running in a jiffy. And it was like half an hour. Full idler gear, I think an input shaft and all the bearings in the transmission. Done.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just did a couple of preliminary checks after that. It's like, let's check all the screws, let's check this since it's here. He was okay after that. But you still have that feeling of, can I trust this? Other people, some guys are like, well, this car failed, okay, there's a backup car, right? And
yeah. Like,
but I think some competitions don't allow that, right? There is a thing now with this. I'm not sure. I haven't read, but I've wondered if that was going to become a thing. You weren't allowed to change your car if your car broke.
I would assume you would just have to go retack after you fix it, just so that they
But
can.
you're saying like just completely different car, or just repair the
Completely
car?
different car. Yes, like literally, here's my RDX that's sheared gearbox. Oh no, I could replace the gears in half an hour, but why don't I just grab my GRK and send it? Right? Or then, oh geez, the GRK
Oh.
has broken parts. Oh, my Opper. Okay, I'll drive the third car. Right?
Yeah. But this
I think
is
it's
during.
the gentleman's rule. I guess driver meeting, if someone's entire car fails and they can't fix it, can we allow them to complete with a completely different machine and continue the thing and give them a chance?
I don't think
If
I've
it's
seen.
grassroots.
Yeah, like
Sorry,
I
go
don't
ahead.
think I've seen that type of catastrophic failure to that point. But
Not to that point, but it's actually come across a couple times out here where someone had that where they're like, oh, car's broken, I can't get parts. Oh no. Someone's like, here, drive my car. And half the
Mhm.
time people don't care. They're like, yeah, and they're like, well, it's your car, I want to break your car. And they're like, everyone's like, here's cars, and we're just like throwing cars at people. Drive something if you want.
right.
But I'm wondering in like a high level, like RCDC or like the Super G Championships, something like that. Would they allow that with like 100+ people?
Oh,
I
no.
doubt it.
Probably
no, you
not,
have
right?
you have to use the same car.
And you'd have to
Didn't
repair your
Junta-
car within a period, probably, right?
But didn't
Uh,
Junta do that? Right? Didn't he qualify with one car in battle with another?
Who did?
Junta?
I have
Really?
no
I think-
idea on that one.
I think
actually.
he qualified with a rear motor, and then he battled with a high mount or something like that.
That
That's a spicy one. If he reteched and the tech said, okay, but if there was no reteching and someone was like, why is your motor in the middle of the car and not in the ass of the car anymore? I, as a competitor, would be like,
check this
that
out.
changes
Yeah.
quite a lot, dude. Like, okay, why don't I go back to 2015 and stick my battery on the rear diffuser? Why don't I just do that? Because they outlawed that because it was too easy of a thing, right? And people were doing that mid-comp, like out here, we were kind of goofing around, like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the hot setup. Why don't I just do that mid-competition? Plunk, and then, oh, look, my car works pretty good now. Like a pendulum. 2015. But yeah, like, okay, highbrow, like high-end competition, I could, not seeing that being like happening often. But if that happened, if they didn't catch it, or if it was like, okay, do what you want, or if he reteched and he was okay after the retech, then okay.
Yeah, I don't
That's
think
fine.
it specifies it being against the rules.
If it wasn't
you know
against
what I
the
mean?
rules, right? Yeah. In the
Yeah.
spirit of competition, it's kind of like, hey, you're half rebuilding your car mid thing. What? Like I would be like, oh, I'll do that too then. Like, but then everyone would. So what's the point? And we'd just all be wasting time. But I get it. Trying to get an advantage or what? Okay, the other angle. The only other angle. His car breaks. Doesn't have any rear motor spare parts. I have to convert it to mid motor just to rebuild it. That's the only spare parts I have.
Eh,
Could you
that's still
imagine?
fishy. Like
It's still
I don't like that.
why is those things?
Dow says definitely not RCDC 2025, but I think maybe at RCDC 2024. Yatabe, Yokomo, Tsukuba,
looking at
RC Park.
Reading the
I'm
chat.
pretty sure it was his last RCDC. Didn't he get wait. I'm trying to remember who got TQ.
I love the idea of rung what you brung, but like it needs to work. Like consistency.
Yeah, because
it
I'm
needs to
all
work.
for repairing a car. That competition timeout, or hey, take 10 minutes, try and repair your thing, and away go. But there's been a couple of competitions where sometimes judges or certain people or the drivers were just like, you know what, if you can't fix it within 5 minutes or you can't fix it at all, just no, you're done. And it left a bit of sour taste in my mouth, sort of seeing someone being like, what? I don't even have a chance to fix it? What? They're like, it'll take me 2 minutes to fix. No, I'm not allowed to fix it. Okay. But then, we changed a couple things. We changed a couple things. Because like me especially, I will literally run out, dumpster dive onto the track with tools in hand and be like, what's broken? I'll fix your car for you. I don't care where you're from. I could go all the way to Super G, and somebody brand new that just started Super G 6 months prior, their car fails on track. I'm the first guy jumping over the goddamn track barrier like, what's broken? I got you. I want to see him compete on merit and actually have a shot. I don't want to see him go home and be upset and be like, forget this hobby because my car failed. They didn't give me a chance or nobody cared to even offer a hand, right? Like, it's not what drifting's about. We're supposed to keep drifting fun. Even during competitions, I still kind of feel that way. You still have to keep it a level of fun. It's going to be competition, but I would rather help a fellow competitor's car on track and see them fail by their own hand instead of just the car just stops because their pinion, the pinion fell off.
I mean, I guess while we're on this topic, it's like thinking about the whole competition style or the calendars or the schedule of STC. You could literally go do your qualifying run and you still have accessibility to your car, like either like during the warm-up laps right before the battles, right? And then your car goes on track and then it can't be changed, right? So I guess in between that time there wouldn't be any question about it, as long as it passes.
Yeah, that's
tag.
more like I look at that like Formula One's Parc Ferme. Once the car's on the track, the battle starts, and it's one of those you can't take your car off the track. You can only change your battery track side type rule set.
Yeah.
I look at that as Parc Ferme because then you can't change the car's layout, you can't change the motor layout, can't move the battery around. You can't even really frig with your preloads or anything like that. The idea is to not alter the bloody car after it's set on track and ready to go. But I had been reading bits and bytes of things like that. So I think a lot of series were trying to curb that, and I think they have, and they're on the lookout for it a little more. Like people doing techs and stuff, they randomly just walking through the pits looking at people's cars. Oh, that wasn't the same as this morning. Oh, okay, that looks different. Stuff like that. I think that's what's happening. I haven't read too much about it, but I see tidbits pop up on Facebook or stuff like that. Or if a big event goes down, how'd it go, this, that, or how was the rule set, or like what was different versus last year. Sometimes we look at that, especially up here, so we can make rule sets. And for a while, we hosted up here the first 2 years of Mr. what's his name, Alex Jones's series.
Jordan
SDS.
Series. Yeah.
Alex Jordan, that's it. Yes. SDS. We had it at Strictly and we had it at Elite, so it was like here, there, and then 2 places down there, RC Emporium and the guys in the comments will know the other place. It was guys in Massachusetts, I think. Oh geez.
Is that like RC Car World? No, that's Florida.
No, not RC Car World. No, because there was RC Emporium and then what's his name? I just saw these guys like a couple months ago. Pat Daly and them. Where are those boys at?
Oh, I know the names.
You know the names. The guys in the comments, they'll hit me up. I know, cause Pat Daly and the crew down there. They're like right beside New Jersey and them, and I forget the name of the track down there, but it was like the 4 of us. Tandemonium, I think.
Sure.
That track. Those guys, yeah. People in the comments will know what I'm talking about for sure.
So
But,
speaking
yeah,
of people in the comments and rules, we're supposed to ask Nezo about tapping in competition or specifically in qualifications.
Oh, I see this. Ask Nezo about wall timing competition and more specifically in qualifications. This has been a thing I've seen debated and discussed for now several years, at least the last 5 or 6 years in competition, because our competitions are growing. The sport in general, drifting in general, real world is growing. RC drift is blown up pretty big now. We're following a lot of the real world stuff, and depending on the level of competition, whether we're doing grassroots, club, semi-serious, or serious, like RCDC and the SDC and all that stuff, depending on the level, that will depend the seriousness of the wall tappery, we'll say, if I use some funny words and stuff. Sometimes up here we've done the wall is lava. Don't touch it any freaking way. Don't tap it. Don't kiss it. Don't whack it. Don't ride it. Don't even look at it. The wall is lava. Like you even go near it and sniff the wall, 0. Like for a while we were doing that. Then a little bit was okay. If you tap it, you tap the wall. Your car does not. Well, I have a car here, so good thing. So you're drifting. We're on a drifty angle here, and you tap the wall, bonk. But your car doesn't do this, or you don't do this to correct it, you don't lose points. If you tap the wall, and your car alters, or you got to correct it heavy to, right? Or God forbid, you opposite lock or straighten, that's a 0, right? But after a while, that 0 of the light tappery became loss of points. Then between what was defined as a light tap versus a hard tap versus what was a light point loss versus heavy and a 0, to me it's gotten quite muddled. And the only way to kind of get like straight set at whatever event I guess is going on wherever now, it kind of has to be agreed on during the driver meeting, because you can put it in a rule book, but on the day everybody feels a little bit different on the day, especially however the course has been laid out or the type of wall, or if it's an open wall where it's just a line on the track, and the idea is don't put your tire over the, let me get the car again, there's my fingers, the line, don't put your tire behind the line, you got to keep your tire or the bumper, whatever you define, behind the line. There's things like that for open wall stuff, because the line is the wall, the limit or whatever. Stuff like that. It's a very, I guess, it's become more touchy, that type of subject, unless you straight up define it like, hey, you touch the wall, you get a 0. Just very basic, like we're in grade 3. You touch wall, 0. Simple. It doesn't matter how you touch 0. But then, depending on where the judges are and where the wall tap is, can you actually see it? Does the body bend? You know, little things. But generally, you can always tell when a car has touched the wall enough where it upset the car, or it's like they hit the wall. They didn't just like, you know, tap it, kiss it. They hit it type thing. And then there's just a straight up crash where you hit it and you get your splitter or whatever gets jammed in, you spin out massively, or your body comes off. Like that's a crash. Things like that.
But what about like wall tap for style points, right?
Then there's that. So that's the other flip side argument is, okay, so if the wall tap didn't lose me points or it only lost me a bit, then the argument is, was it stylish? So then I'm like, a stylish wall hit. It's a tough one because half the time you hit the wall, some part of the car is getting upset. It may not change the drift trajectory, like, or your line, but you see the body wiggle or you see some part of it move or whatever. In FD, I think it's if your bumper hits the wall and it crumples, but your car continues its line, you don't lose points. You've just been very stylish because you've destroyed your bumper, but the car's line never changed and you drifted straight through it. I think that's how that goes. By base logic, I think, like, you know, just I haven't read that, but I think that's sort of how they go. So I think like that in RC a little bit. We can't really crush the bumpers on these things or whatever, but if you're able to somehow upset your car body, but not upset the drift line, that's a style. But the line between that stylish and it being loss of points is a very like. So I think half the time, at least what I'm seeing more is wall taps for style points is like becoming like it's not really going to happen. You're going to have to try and minimize the wall tappery to then in some other area of the track get your style points, like a snap 90, how like they love that in Japan. You're just like, yep, snap, and you do that. Or you can make a big angle entry and you literally just put it right in the zone, right on the wall, but not touching, and you're just like like a perfect score that way. Stuff like that for style on qualification when you're solo running. But if you're in tandem, you have to kind of put pressure. You got to kind of run the wheel on their door, not their front wheel, that kind of stuff, you know.
Speaking of Alex Jordan,
it's too sticky. It's too like. I think
it's Alex Jordan himself.
You know, like for me, at my cut, like when I do the comps, if you touch the wall, you know, you touch the wall. Now you can run the wall, but it's like it's still a contact. It's too I like it's just an argument I don't feel like getting into. So for me, it's like I leave other points where they can get their style, like you said, doing like, you know, the Japanese throws and stuff like that. But not touching the walls. I'm amazed on how some people will really just try to, you know, it's something that's noticeable that would give you a 0 run. Oh no, that's just, you know. So it's like, for me, touching it or not, it's on the rules. So if it's on the rules, then that's just how it goes, you know. Like,
I mean,
I think
at the same time, like at the end of the day, it's all perceived by a judge and it's all scored by a judge, right? So it's what the judges sees not necessarily like your camera footage of who someone else saw. But speaking on like points and stuff like that, because most of the competitions that I've seen, or at least all of the competitions at PDX, style is the least like biggest point category. So you got line, you've got zone, and then you got style. So what's your priorities? Like, do you try to, like, I would think go for line, go for zone, try to get style in there as like for your second run if you had a good first run, right? But
yeah, get the points first. This is what everybody forgets. Get your line, get your positioning on those X's where you need to position the car, score the points in the box, make that part all stylish and where the positioning is, because then the style points will just come to you without you having to think about style. And everybody forgets to put the cars into zones or keep the car in a zone, or they enter the zone 50% away from the start point, and they're like, how come I didn't get full points? I was like, well, you only did 50% of that zone. You didn't do the whole zone, so you don't get full points. You got to get those points. So when you do a clean run, like you were saying, Adam, you do a clean run, you score those lines and boxes first, and if the style isn't there, then try to push the limit and get more style. But if you're already doing those things, a lot of style should already start coming out of yourself as you're driving it, because you're like, I can take this line, but I can take it like this, and then all of a sudden you don't think it's stylish, but someone goes, yo, look at that type thing.
So question here, Steven Almeida, I think that's how you say it.
Steven Almeida, that's Stevie Boy Floyd, test driver he's on Team Strictly Driving, but he features
Gotcha.
Boy Floyd. Yeah.
So who determines what stylish is? High angle, big entry speed, weeble wobble mode enabled. That's your judge. And you'd better ask your judge, because they should be able to explain what they're looking for.
Right, and then the rest of this, besides the judge should be in the driver meeting, the stylish judge. He should be in the driver meeting explaining exactly what he wants to see on the day with rulebook, whatever, with the style. And then, if anything, take a vote on, okay, would you prefer this zone or this zone as your stylish zone? And then everyone, I want that zone. Stuff like that. But if the stylish judge is just not saying anything during the driver meeting, this and that, and then style points are kind of all over the place during the day, then it'll make sense, right?
Well,
but that's where sorry?
When I was talking to Kevin Tan about like TDC and just mainly TDC, I think it was.
Oh yeah,
like
TDC's down yeah.
The style judge wasn't necessarily like telling them what he wanted. Like he would see it and you would see your score reflect what he scored you at, and you'd have to figure that out.
That's harder.
That's
a bit harder. Like, okay, if that's part of the event, like we're only going to tell you base rules and then you got to figure the rest out. It's kind of, on a high end type level. Okay, fine. It's kind of like racing. Here's the track. That's all they tell you. Here's the track. You got to go find all the hotspots. You got to go ask the locals, where's the fast zones. They don't tell you nothing, right? In Drift Comp now, it's kind of like, here's the layout, but then we go through in the drift meeting, So the stylish guy should be like, yeah, this zone, here's your style zone. Here I want to see you flick heavy, big style. You flick slow, no style. Slow speed entry, that's not stylish. Things like that. Or if he says, I want you to be slow here and then go fast, because that's the style I want to see. Hey. But if the stylish judge doesn't illustrate it or kind of present it how he wants to see it, then yeah, we're in a blackout. We don't know. We're searching for words there. But we won't know nothing, and we're going to have to figure it out on the scores, and then everyone's kind of,
Yeah.
I throw markers. Like for instance, like on some of my entries, I'll let everybody know, hey, this is where this marker is, this is the normal entry zone. You know what I mean? So if you enter here, it's a normal entering. There's no like style points that go with that, but then I'll usually throw like either two or three more, and then I'll just go, okay guys, so the guys that enter from this point to this point, this is just a normal entry zone. But if you enter from here to here, that's this score. If you enter from here to here, that will get you this score. And I'll usually, you know what I mean? That's kind of how, because if you're going to enter at, like, let's say the max one, 15 points just on that style entry, you're not going to make that corner if you're not going fast, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like that's kind of, I'll do those to kind of, you know, help also, and for them to see too, you know, like, okay, I'm on this straightaway, I'm going to really try to grip up, you know, just so I can enter at that max point. And honestly, it's the way my track is laid out with the straights. Like, if you're entering at those points, it's gonna be stylish. You know what I mean? There's no
on a general. How else could you do
so,
it blasé and kind of basic? You kind of gotta go for it. You gotta do some kind of flair or whatever style entry. Yeah, that's what I mean. It'll just kind of come out naturally in the run rather than oh geez, where might I have to be stylish and, you know, sweat hard about it. Shouldn't have to. You should just do your thing, and your style comes out that way. And if the judge then said, I'd like to see a bit more flair from your run, the second run, just turn it up, right? Just do everything a little bit more. Sometimes I take that approach. Sometimes other guys are like, nope, going full 100 right away, first run, first corner, backy. They just send it.
Nope, that is a wall tap. That is a wall crash for me almost every time.
But then there's the also rule, are we doing over 90s today, right? In the driver meeting, are we going to do backy entries? Yay! No, because if a lot of people can't chase a backy style entry here or there, right? It's, oh no, I'm at a disadvantage. So if we just outlaw backies or over 90s, you know, right, then that's right there.
So I need to say this because this is making me laugh. Chris, do you know what StarCraft is?
StarCraft. Is that a game?
It is
Classic
a video game.
Yeah?
I think so.
Your video reminds me of StarCraft right now.
What do you mean?
Oh yes, StarCraft. Yes, I
Like
remember StarCraft.
people that know will know.
Wasn't there an expansion called Brood Wars?
There was an expansion
Yes.
of Brood Wars.
Okay, my buddies played StarCraft. I played a lot of Command and Conquer, Counter Strike. We still play Counter Strike, but I mean, I played a lot of that back in the day before Steam was even a thing, y'all. That was version 1.6. I was playing 1.3 beta.
Jeez.
In the 90s with a 333 megahertz Celeron. Had 256, maybe 512 RAM, maybe on a 16 meg graphic card. 16 megabytes on my graphics card. I played Counter Strike. It was great.
I still play Counter Strike. I play it on my Steam Deck.
Yeah, but my buddies played the old StarCraft. That's right. I was just thinking, wait, I'm like, he was like, yo, StarCraft 2, Brood Wars, bud, get in on it. And I'm like, no. And they had, what's the one saying from StarCraft I keep hearing? It's not all your base are belong to us. That's Command and Conquer. but there's some saying from Zerg. You're gonna get Zerg, StarCraft, right? I got Zerg again. Yeah, that's it.
Keen
I am a
Pepper.
bit of a weeb. I'm a bit of a weeb PC nerd that way too. So yes, that could be a completely different tangent. A good topic though, PC and computer programming involvement and all kinds of the stuffs, radios and all that kind of stuff. There's a topic. But StarCraft. I didn't pick up on that because I don't think of StarCraft, but that could be a crude level in Counter-Strike. He's like hiding in the area. Like, where is he? I can see his roof where he is.
You're pixelated, Chris. That's all.
Everyone's just creeping. He's got the potato cam going, everybody.
Yeah, pretty much.
Potato.
I did want to talk to you about your involvement in the whole RC Drift community and how far back you go, right? Because I know that you've been a big player ever since I've been into drifting, right? And that's a long time ago. Mm-hmm. Like, I know your name from way back when.
It's got to the point. I actually only had just hit 7,000 on my channel, but I was doing RC stuff long before the channel, and then a bit of drift stuff before the channel. But even then, like, it's been quite a long time of just doing stuff, and to the point where people will say that to me, like you just said, Adam. Yeah, I've been around since you started your drift stuff or getting into the RC hobby, and it blows my mind a little, and then I try not to think about it, but I'm like, yeah, no, I've actually probably reached enough people where a lot of people have been like, yeah, I've been coming back to your channel, or you've helped me with this, or I reached out on DM or something.
Well, not even your
Whatever
channel.
it was.
I'm like, you remember Drift Mission days, right? Like,
yes.
that website.
Yep, it's still around, but I remember it was way back. I think I found it in 2014, mid 2014 or something, at least. And it was already established. I think they had been up since 2010 or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
At
like
least.
it's been a while, and it's like going back to that time. I want to know what your thought processes, or not thought process, but what your feelings are from the evolution of like online web pages and forums moving into this new technological world of YouTube and like information now for drifting. Like, what do you think about that?
It's pretty awesome, to be honest. The biggest thing I've noticed with the internet in general, then the RC hobby and everything ties into it, which you mentioned with forums and websites of the older days. A lot of those have disappeared or are disappearing currently, and once they're gone, they're gone. And the only real migration that happened was all those forums and website, they migrated into Discord servers, which for old timers, I'm 40 now, but like I don't feel like an old timer, but I guess sort of kind of it's like that way. Back in the day, 20 odd years ago, I was looking around internet forums and all that sort of stuff for finding solutions and for RC stuff and computer stuff, whatever. And the process of how you come to the solution, how you read through all these things and try this, try that, and other users have the same thing, and you go through maybe a page or two, a couple, and bam, there's the solution. That process of doing that and the satisfaction of running through that form and doing that process is long gone on a Discord server, because when you rock up in a Discord server, you're like, whoa, channels, whoa, this, and you click on stuff and it's just endless. It's sort of the same, but it isn't. And to search through it is a little bit different. And finding solutions, I've read about, they're like, yeah, the correlation from searching and finding stuff on forums and the satisfaction and ease of use that way, even though sometimes you'd have to dig, comparison into Discord servers, it's a lot more difficult. YouTube and other platforms, like what we're a lot of using and what we're on right now, is way more useful and searchable that way. It's easier to find at the fingertips, so to say. A lot of us have playlists and stuff like that, and I'm about to reconfigure playlists on my channel. And so it's very good now. There was a period where it was kind of like, what's going on or what's happening? Or for a while, myself, I thought, do I have to go down the sort of sellout route where I literally just take an item and look how I destroy this thing? I'm like, I don't want to do that. And what's funny is every time I mention that here or there, certain people go, oh, this channel, this just, and there's certain people they used to follow, and now all they do is just break stuff. Companies send them stuff, they break it. Look how quick it is to fix it. And that's it. That's the whole video. But it goes endlessly because everyone wants to see stuff broken. But then after a while, it gets boring. But
like, what is it? It's the father-son duo who cuts everything in half. Like, there's that
RC
one.
Sparks? Is it RC Sparks?
No,
usually when I mention that, people are like, RC Sparks. I think he's in Canada. But that person had a lot of technical stuff, or did a lot of like analysis and builds and stuff. And then after a while, it just became a lot of check out how we break this today kind of sort of thing. And it's like, oh, okay. So it is popular and it's like fun to watch. But after a while, it's like, oh, some people want the more technical, the more deeper, or whatever it is. Or just to do like one discipline where I'm trying to just mainly stay drift. Whereas for a while I'm like, oh, I got a bit of crawling, I got a bit of RC pulling, I got drift, I got some racing, or a little bit of stuff, but mostly drifting for me. But the amount of useful repository library style knowledge on YouTube for RC drift, specifically RC drift, is quite good nowadays. 5 years ago, it was kind of, hit miss, this or that. And one thing that sort of hit me after a while, this was a couple years ago. I think it was a year after I met, which one of the, Mr. Spicy is,
Adam.
So, who's his brother again? Anthony. Yeah, Anthony, who's now Overdose sponsored. About a year after I met back up with him at Elite in Quebec, and for one event, and he had on his bench, as soon as I happened to arrive, or us crew arrive, oh, what's going on, dude? He was like knee deep in a MD2, Yokomo MD2 he had just got. I think this is when he was with Yokomo for that 1 year. In the MD2 there, and he's like, yeah, I'm having troubles with this car. I want to get it running, this and this. I'm going to get it going, but I'm having some issues. And before he could finish his sentence, I went, let me guess, full lock one way, not the other way. And he's like, what? How, dude? And I'm like, I just did a series of videos, bud. And he goes, you say this. So funny story, Nezo. You say this. I bought this car. I immediately went looking on videos on YouTube. He said there were 4 videos at the time when he searched. 2 of them were Japanese, all Japanese, and the other 2 were mine. And mine were the only English ones. So for a period of time, a lot of people were telling me to find good, useful RC drift information. All the videos were in Japanese, and you had to use subtitles, and sometimes the translations were a little bit, loose or kind of hard to understand, just the way it goes. But in the last, I think, year or so, YouTube, a year or two or whatever, YouTube introduced a feature for audio tracking. You can change the audio track on videos, and it happened to my channel. So the YouTube's AI, whatever, some part of the AI, whatever, a useful, good part of the AI, took my voice and redubbed my voice in Arabic, Greek, German, Japanese, Polish, Spanish, Italian, French, like all these languages. And I had no idea. But people had been watching my content in other countries around the world in their native tongue, but it's literally my voice the AI has taken, kind of like how it did with music, and it's making new music of artists by smashing all their songs together, and you're like, this is great, but they didn't make it. It was a machine that did it. So, and this is good for the audio tracking, because somebody commented and said, hey, where'd the French track go? I listened to all your videos en français. Greetings from France. Can you put that back, or why'd you take it away? And I was like, I didn't take it away. Maybe I got to talk to the AI. Be like, what are you doing, AI? But that alone took all of my useful English audio information, all this critical knowledge and technical blah, all the stuff, and redubbed me in all these languages just because I'm a partner on the channel. And then that helps other people around the world understand me easier. And then I thought, yeah, they're going to want to come back because that's a feature, and I guess I had it enabled or whatever, and that made my knowledge in my native tongue more accessible to everyone else in the world, which that wasn't a thing a couple years ago, and I stumbled upon that. And it's perfect. It's pitch perfect, dialogue perfect. I asked a buddy who's at my track, shout out to Wojciech if he's in there, or his son might be in here, Seb. He's from Poland, speaks full Polish and everything, and he speaks English too, but he's full fluent. And I said, check this out. Is this what I'd sound like in full Polska? And I hit it, and it went through, da-da-da-da. And he's like, hey, yeah, that's you. It's Nezo, Polska Nezo. Bravo. I can watch you in my native tongue. Brilliant. I was like, this is great. So just that, like anybody's channel, I think a lot of people's channels, even this actually, probably if someone rewatched it, they could redub the English into something else. If it's, I think, part of you've selected some stuff, and that's fantastic. So what stuff was harder to understand in what we had five odd years ago or whatever on YouTube, stuff we have now and tools we have now makes the knowledge and everything far more accessible, to the point where I was audio tracking in like Italian, but I had the English subtitles. I'm like, you could learn the language this way almost. It's but you would get an idea of what was what or this or that. So conversely, instead of just using subtitles, you can change the language and then put the subtitles in your native whatever, or vice versa, if you wanted to kind of understand certain words or terms, if you've heard them and whatever. But just that alone, that helped a lot, I think. Little things like that. So people randomly will comment little things like that, or like greetings from Germany, love the language thing. Or one of the other ones I had not too long ago, full comment in Russian text, completely Russian text. And I'm like, oh, okay, so maybe they're using the language thing or whatever. So I just copied the text, Google Translate, it spit it to me out in English. Okay, cool. I read their comment. I then type it back in English. The Translate then spits it back into Russian. I re-commented back in full Russian language. Because that's just, why not, right? And just being able to do that too. Awesome. But then people can comment in their native language with all the native text and whatever. They don't have to worry about trying to pre-translate it. They just fire it off on the comment, and I'll translate it out, but I don't mind. It's not hard to do. But just having all that information now on YouTube, other websites, even Drift Mission is still a thing. There's that other thing too. Dark, D-A-R-C, the Drift Action RC magazine or whatever it is. I've been seeing that getting more and more popular, doing more articles, and just even that. Back in the day, I relied on RC Car Action for lots of stuff. My parents got me the subscription way back when, and they were like, is it worth it? And I'm like, well, I'm learning so much every month. Like there's all kinds of information in here, and I still have all those magazines. Pretty much all of them, and they still have pit tips, wealth of knowledge, like all this stuff. Nothing drift, but like all the like core principles of RC, like how to configure channel 1 and 2, pit tip on how to fill your fuel faster on your nitro, like just all kinds of little things. So that was more the beginning, and I'm glad now we have all this digital stuff now at our fingertips. It's super handy.
What's the saying that you use when you're trying to explain to someone new in RC for channel 1 is steering and channel 2 is throttle?
So when I'll explain that stuff, that's where I'm like, okay, that's the core principles of your RC car, the guts. So that's just where everything lives. This is how it always is. This is a standardized thing. Channel 1 is always steering. Channel 2 is always throttle. Beyond that, you can do what you want. We usually do what? Gyro on channel 3 or 4, depending. I used to think some gyros specifically had to have channel 4 or specifically had to have channel 3. I think now with some of the newer gyros, such as the Power HD one and the new OMG V6, they have they put the gains. They say use gain on channel 3 for the overall gain, and then channel 4's kind of like the tail slider speed on a GYD 550. Hook that up specifically to channel 4, and then make a dial or whatever. Talk to channel 4 specifically, and the other thing for your gain. Stuff like that we're starting to see now. But like, yeah, channel 1 is always your steering. Channel 2 is always your throttle. That has been a thing ever since RC cars started way back in the, I don't know, early 80s, late 70s, whenever it was. That's been an industry standard.
Project Flow got it where I was going with it. Usually
One
I
to
hear
turn, 2 to burn. I like
Yeah.
that. That's a good saying, actually. I'll just give the whole technical thing, but it's like, what's the basics? Yeah, 1 to turn, 1 to burn. And how do you drift? You turn right to go left and left to go right, bud. That's it.
Now, I had that Power HD V2 gyro. I didn't
Yes.
figure out the channel 4 though. Like,
Okay, yeah. So I actually put that in. I think it's my OMG Electronics 2026 video where I did explain the gyro in that video, because people did message me, contact me, and were like, what is, how is, how does that really work? So the idea was, from when I read the theory on it, both for the Power HD and for the OMG V6, I'm like, okay, thought about it for a second. I'm like, this sounds like Futaba's GYD 550, the tail slider speed setting, whereas that setting alone, just that setting, it controls how fast your switchback is when you switch from one direction to the other. So if I use, well, I'll use the cars and use my body, but GYD. So let's say this car has the GYD. Actually, this car does have a GYD. So if I have the tail slider speed number on the Futaba GYD, if I have it way up, like 130, when I'm this way and I want to switch, the GYD will let me go, hiya, hiya, hiya. It'll let me go like that. Yeah, 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 yeah. If I have the number down at like 30, way down, that tail slider speed, just that setting, when you go to switch, the car goes, yep, hold on, yep, okay. And then at a certain point, it starts reacting heavy because you're in it knows you're in a corner, so to say, like you're got way past a certain angle. But every time you go to change direction, it's, oh, nice and slow. It feels like molasses. You're almost kind of like, hurry up, buddy, come on. Ooh! It's one of those like, oh my God, we're not going to make it. The car feels heavy. So on the OMG V6 and the Power HD, the V2, I think it is called, yeah, that channel 4 setting, in the manual, it said something like, yeah, you can do it plus 4 or minus 4 or whatever, like on the setting. And I'm like, does that
that's
mean
it?
and I'm like, does that mean it increments like 4 degrees each increment, or does that mean from 0 I can only go plus 4 minus 4? And I'm like, well, let me just try. So on the video film, I did the testing first. I'm like, okay, let me do 0 first, drive around. Okay, this is how it feels. La 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 la. Let me do plus 4. I'm like, okay, I can kind of notice I do left and it reacts, it lets me whip quicker. Okay, put it to minus 4. I'm like, I do the same basic flick action. I'm like, now it doesn't rotate as quickly. Okay, it still does, but it takes longer. I'm like, okay, this is basically tail slider. So I'm like, all right, this is what it feels like. Let me do something drastic. So from 0, I went like plus 75, something. I just, let's turn it way up. I drove the car. I barely turn in initiate. The car's like, hiya, hiya. It just, I'm like, holy cow, okay. It wasn't like super dramatic, but it was like, it was giving me a lot of angle with very little.
Mhm.
I was like, oh, all right, this is literally it. So I'm like, let's test the opposite. Down to negative 75 on the channels, right? The high low. Down to negative 75. I do the little thing. Car's like, yeah, nope. It barely wanted to drift in. It was like, nope. So I'm like, yeah, that's literally what it is. It's literally just controlling switchback. But they gave it like I forget what they actually named it, but that's basically what it does. And so you have to hook it up to the 4th channel or some other channel other than 1, 2, or 3. And then that's the idea. Hook it up to another dial on your radio or one of the, like trim things. So trim plus 50 or trim minus 50. Then you'll actually start to notice it. But the real only way to actually notice it either don't hook it up at all at first, or hook it up and leave the setting at 0, leave it neutral, drive your car around a bunch of laps, run some tandems, whatever you want to do, run a bunch of laps, pull over, hook it up, or then, you know, put your trim up to plus 50, send the car back out, and then drive it a lap or two, and you'll start to notice, whoa, wow, I do my same action and hiya. Or if you've gone negative, it really doesn't want to drift. It's fighting me, kind of. It's giving me resistance. Sort of slow. It feels heavier. So that's where it's one of those drivability things, much like CLSD diffs, where people were like driving other people's cars with CLSDs. I don't really feel it. I don't really notice it. No, you got to put it in your own machine, and then you'll feel the sauce. So okay, I'd build it for them. I'd put it in, and I'm like, give it 10 to 20 laps. Drive your car as you always would, and then you're gonna start to notice stuff. And then sure, I'd be at the service desk, or okay, send them out, blah blah blah. Maybe 5 minutes later, I hear, whoa, oh, I couldn't do that before. Whoa, car drove through. I didn't spin out there. And I'm like, that's the diff talking. And they're like, holy cow, I feel it now. I'm like, yeah, it's one of those you have to feel it in your own machine type thing. But yeah, so.
I guess speaking of CLSD, what's your typical setup for you?
So yes. When it first came out, I think I built like 1 or 2, and I was like, I think I'm going to do a build video. So I ended up doing a light build video somewhere. I think it's on my channel. It's like half an hour long. But when it first came out, and I watched the person's video, a couple of people were debating how the springs or how it was supposed to work, because officially there wasn't overly an explanation. Like, it wasn't very detailed or whatever, and we were kind of like, huh? So strictly sideways, polished concrete track, we have next to no grip available, like pretty much no grip, like this much. P-tile is what I call like medium low, because there's grip available, but you still got to find it, and it'll punish you if you don't get it right. Whereas polished concrete, if you've never drifted on it and you come to strictly and drift, you're like, why is this ice? Like, how come my car isn't moving? And I'm just like, the wall, bruh. And then your tires got to get used to it. But that's where I'll set the cars up, all the cars on a general, to generate grip, both front and rear, 50-50. And then beyond that, once you get used to track or you get better with your skill, driver preference, setup, whatever, caster, blah, 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 all that. CLSD setup, typically for the low traction, I would have them lock up pretty quickly. So 8 gears for the weight, so all 8 gears, and the heavier springs, the 0.2s or whatever they are, instead of the 0.1s or 1.5s, because they just give it to you. They give you like, I don't know, 20 in a pack or whatever it is, right? And they're like, there's your springs. They're not labeled. You can't really tell. You gotta measure them with the vernier caliper. But 8 gears, hard springs basically, so that when you punch the throttle, you lock that CLSD right away. But then if you do boosty brakey stuff, you know, throttle brake, and you're boosting it heavy, you can control it almost like a switch, because you boost, the thing locks pretty quickly. As soon as you pull the brake and stop the thing spinning, it unlocks. And if you do that, it's like lock, unlock, lock, unlock. And people online were debating it. Is that really it? No, it's the other way around. No, it'll lock further up the thing. Then I did a test one day with my buddy Cheese, test driver Cheese. He might be in the chat somewhere. We did a test one day because we were debating this. We love debating theory. We could probably start a podcast of him and I debating theory between race cars and drifty cars and stuff and all that. And he was like, I'm going to do a test, Nezo. I'm going to put in the soft spring 4 gear. I'm going to do the like almost complete opposite of what we normally do, just so we can feel it. I'm like, okay, perfect. I'll leave mine. We'll go for a real run, like a real science run. And sure as shoot, I left mine full 8 gear, all that. He did his 4 gear light spring. On the straightaway, as I would gas mine up, and mine would lock up way sooner, I would gap him, and he would have to punch his throttle to get his car back to me by corner entry. And he started to say, oh yeah, I noticed, because when I pull the throttle, car kind of lags, and halfway up the straightaway, it starts accelerating. He's like, that's where it's locking, halfway up the rev range, because the springs are so light, it takes them longer to push the only 4 gears inside the diff to lock up. So he's like, yeah, that's okay. So our original thinking of how it worked was correct, because we started to get inside our heads. Oh, it's backwards, or no, it's the other way. So yeah, 8 gear heavy locks up soon, and you get instant lock, and you can kind of control it easy. The lighter gears, lighter springs, you a lot more work on a polished concrete track to get grip. Now that setup obviously would be better for higher grip tracks. That would be much better, because that way you can totally control your grip on a higher grip surface like carpet or porcelain tile or something like that, with less gears and stuff like that. In theory, I haven't actually tested that myself because I haven't gone to a high traction track and I don't know how long. And for the most part, generally the same setup, I run it strictly 8 gear heavy spring. That still works pretty well at Elite. But what a lot of the guys tell me at Elite and other P-tile tracks is they don't run CLSDs that much, and or they blow them up. I'm like, are you not putting thread lock on the screws to keep the thing together? Because someone didn't do that initially early with the CLSD. They had it built and they didn't put Loctite on the screws. Next thing you know, the screw and the whole panel was backing out into the transmission, and I'm like, Loctite's a thing. So, but yeah, that's usually the setup I run for the CLSDs at our track. When someone buys one new, I'm like, start with this first, get used to it, feel it out, whatever. After that, you can play with it. You do whatever you want, but get used to it first, get used to the feel, because you're going to be like, whoa. And it's definitely an active diff, and it works pretty good. And I thought initially it was a gimmick. I'm like, no, there's no way it actually does anything. No. I'm like, how much better can that be than a ball diff, which has been popular in racing forever? Ball differentials. A little higher maintenance, yeah, but I'm like, ball differentials, externally adjustable, it's smoother, that kind of stuff, whatever. But I'm like, no, maybe this is a thing, and it totally is. And for a drift car, now we've got 4 or 5 different diffs, a PDK, the other internals that go into your Yoko diffs. Like, some people still run spools, right? GOMs come with spools off the hop.
Let's see. So as far as active diffs, first one that I knew of was the X-ray diff. Like, we were popping those in.
Race car. Yeah, Cheese would probably know about that if I asked him about that. Yes, that. Yep.
And then CLSD came out. And I think I don't know which one came first, but KK Pit has theirs. Yusakani has their internals. Yeah. And then Rhino just came out with their TCD.
Yeah, and MST made one recently as well. MST did one because my buddy Chu, who I haven't seen in a while, shout out to him, he's a big MST guy now. He didn't used to be, and then I sold him my KMW. MST's the best. Yeah, MST number 1. Yeah, I loved it. But we'll talk about the MSTs and this and that. And he ended up with, I think he ended up with the diff because he was getting knuckles this time. He goes, hey, he was like, Nezo, there's another diff coming. MST's doing it too. I'm like, holy. And he's like, I ordered it. I'm like, all right, we'll check it out when it comes in. And I think he put it in his KMW or MRX, one of them, because I sold him my MRX as well. But I think he might have put in his KMW 3.0, and he's like, works pretty good. I think he likes it. So I mean, that's like what, 7 or 8 differentials.
It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
Yeah. With quite a lot of active diffs. So I mean, just differentials alone, all the options were spoiled for and stuff like that. That's fantastic stuff. So I mean, I like all that. It's very drift specific. We would never put these things, a lot of them, into race cars, because race cars are very specific geometry, very specific sort of stuff like that. We'd never try to jerry rig some kind of third party diff into a race car. You keep the race car same brand, like all that stuff. You really don't mess with that. Unless you're doing some strange club series and you can do what you want. There's no rules, but generally it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty neat, yeah. Active diffs, actually. That's a good subject. There's lots of stuff like that, lots of different ways to tune it. Oh, here's a question: your CLSD or CLSDs, have you ever put like actual diff oil in them? Do you fill yours with oil?
I
don't. Not at all. They were never designed for it, but people do it.
Yeah, so that was my first mistake. It's like, oh, it's a diff, right? So we're gonna fill it.
But it's an obvious conclusion, right? Because logical diff, put diff fluid in it, right?
Well, so it was the paper washers that they included, right? I'm like, this has got to be a gasket.
For the lightweight diff, right? I think.
No, it came with the original one. Like
Did it really?
Yeah, like very first run.
I'll have to look back because I don't remember that.
So
I did a lot of the aluminum ones, the original. Yeah. I don't remember that. Maybe they did. Yeah. Maybe.
So I'm gonna put some oil in it, and yeah, that was a total mess. I was super disappointed in that. Only later to find out that those green gaskets were not gaskets; they were just spacers. Yes, they were to act as spacers. That's it.
Yeah. That's sort of what I found out after, because I'm like, these don't seal well. When I started to encounter them on the lightweight one, I guess I ignored them on the first batch because I remember the first batch. I guess it must have been, people are commenting about it, but yeah. But some people do run them with oil. My choice.
The first batch was, I think, the best packaging, like the little cylinder cans.
I think, yeah. The tolerances were They weren't that great. They were all right, but they weren't that great. And then in subsequent batches, they got better. Especially because I know from a story from from Quebec, the owner up there said, "Yeah, can you?" He told me about this. He's like, "Yeah, I've found ways to improve Rhino's diff. If they just make a couple tolerance changes, the thing will be immaculate, right?" So he sent the information up, and they were kind of like, "We don't care." That was sort of the response. He said, "We don't care," and he's like, "Well, I ain't ordering any more of your diffs then. I'll just make my own version, or we'll do something else." Like, because I remember we had to put so many bloody shims. The cups were literally doing this without shims, and I'm like, that will murder drive shafts, cup protectors, diff. Like that'll murder everything. So when you shimmed it was good. Now later you use maybe 1 or 2 shims, the thing goes, it doesn't wiggle. Like its tolerances are much better. But I remember he said that, and he's like, yeah, they don't care, so maybe we'll do our own thing or whatever. Then I guess they came back and said, okay, we fixed it, we fixed the tolerances, please place an order. And he said, no, send me 1 or 2, I want to inspect it, I want to make sure you're not pulling my leg, send me 1 or 2. If you do and it's good, I'll order like 100 or whatever. I'll order a lot. So hand on heart. So he did it. And they did it, and he got it, tested it, boom, and he ordered a bunch, and then we started hoovering them up. It was great.
Dow potentially has a correction. First batch had best tolerances. Second batch had tolerance issues. First batch was perfect fit and worked properly. Second batch had poor tolerance cups.
Maybe we got into them in the second batch, because I knew we got into them pretty quickly up here, because Elite is our distributor for Strictly, and a lot of us, that's where we were ordering from. And yeah, I think maybe we got into them during the second batch, because I remember they were poorly toleranced, they were bad. You could use them, but I was like, what the frig? Yeah.
all I know is that for me and Rhino tolerances, it's kind of not 100%. Like
no,
any of the time.
I think they've gotten a bit better, but tolerances are tolerances. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I've noticed this from certain things. The CLSDs definitely got better, because now pretty much each batch they're pretty much like the same tolerances. Everything goes together nice. They all work well. That kind of thing.
Have you played with the TCD?
TCD. Who does the TCD again?
Rhino. It's their new torque variation of it.
Not the new one. No.
Team AD.
Is it the Team AD one?
It's a collab, I believe.
Oh, it's a collab. Okay, I think I read something or someone showed me it, and I was like, yeah, another diff. Okay, but I haven't got it up here yet or anything yet, as far as I know.
Looks like a Yusukami on crack.
Oh, I did get to use.
That's funny that you say that.
I'm trying to think. I know I meant to test a few diffs. I had a couple diffs in my possession. People were like, I bought the Yusukani. Here you go, do thing. I bought the KK Pit, do thing. And I'm like, diffs everywhere. And yeah, we tested KK Pit. I think we tested the Yusukani. Or I still have them in my bag, and I'm still like, whose car can I put it in? Because they don't fit in my Opper. That's a sort of 3 racing. I could put a CLSD in this, but I just don't have one. Oh, no, okay, yeah, I can put a CLSD in my Opper, but then the drive shafts don't fit the cups properly. There's a proprietary thing they did there, so I'd have to do a bunch of reworking. But I made my factory gear diff, like a CLSD. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I haven't been able to put the Yusukani in another car yet. But I may just use my stock Sakura D6 that I was using before I got the Opper, because I tested the KK Pit in that, and CLSD and a couple other things. But yeah, lots of diffs.
Yeah, for sure.
You could probably do an entire podcast just differentials, like literally just the types, this, how to tune this one, how to tune that one, who likes this one, who hates that one, which is better for which track. That's a whole thing.
Hey DJ, what diff do you have to run?
I can run a spool diff or a ball diff.
Yeah, overdose driver.
Oh yes, the overdose life. Because people are like, can I put a CLSD in there? I'm like, yeah, but then you got to convert it to belt with the thing, and sometimes you have to use a different belt size belt. And people are like, what? I'm like, well, it's a third-party option in a car that wasn't designed for third-party options. And like, overdose the overdose way, yeah, like DJ said, spool or ball diff, and I'm like, overdose makes a ball diff, dude. A ball diff is nice. Wouldn't you like an overdose ball diff up in your overdose? I would. I said to myself, unless I convert the whole thing to gears, which the gear drive is hard enough to get, just do a ball diff. Sure, it's a little bit more maintenance, and okay, it's not quick release, whatever. But like, it's the overdose life. You have to take your time.
Actually,
When I
wait,
had my GOM, I ran the BD10. I think it's the Yokomo BD10 gear diff.
mhm.
Did you
That's
really in
that's
that? That fits in
Huh?
there? Nice.
Yeah. You just got it with the. I got in the conversation with James Simpson, right? That old pace, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. So I got in a conversation with him over it because naturally, like I've always just preferred gear diffs over ball or the active, and
Usually
so I
me
ran
too.
that for years. I ran that Yokomo diff for years.
Nice. Usually me too.
Yeah.
I prefer gear diff over a ball, but then for a while I think I had a ball diff in my RDX actually, I think. And I was like, okay, actually between CLSD and ball diff, I prefer the ball diff in my particular RDX, which was low tune spec. I kept it a good amount of plastic all over that car on purpose. Yeah, and I remember that going well. It's I think I sold it to someone in British Columbia. Someone out there's got it now.
Oh,
A lot
wow.
of my stuff I've sent out into the world now.
Like
There's
that's a
lots of-
stretch.
Yeah, well, it's funny. In the last 2 years, I have sold cars all over, like a bunch of areas in Canada, all over the states. Most recently, going to RC Adrenaline out that ways, like Virginia, I think out that way. A couple cars that way. A couple cars went to California, the middle of the states, and then United Kingdom, France, maybe was it France or Sweden? There was Germany in there. There was Sweden. Cars were going everywhere. Like it was kind of neat. So there's bits and pieces of my collection all over the place. Couple numbered cars, and actually to the point where some people are like, "Hey, can you autograph the thing?" Because when I bring it to the track, they're like, "Where'd you get it from?" Like literally the YouTuber. So there's
on.
stuff like that. Yeah.
I guess talking about cars right now, like one of my questions that I have for you here is like, if you see someone having troubles, right? They're new to the hobby, they're just trying to get started, get their feet wet. What's kind of like the plain vanilla tune that you put on their car just to get them rolling?
Okay, yeah. So I would call that my version 1 tune. Generally, it's my V1 tune.
Mhm.
That's the most like basic sort of specs. It's you just you double check the shocks in the preload, make sure they built the shocks okay and they function on some level, top them up, whatever. Set the preload so you got your ride height and your dampening, and then very basic tuning, pretty much camber and toe, and camber and toe in the front, and pretty much just camber in the rear, unless you have some extra toe blocks from their kit or something, or if it's an adjustable style rear toe in some way. Just a bit of camber in the rear, bit of camber in the front, little bit of toe, and just make sure all the electronics function and that sort of stuff. And that's a pretty base V1 tune on that. Will work on pretty much any level of car, whether it's like it's a Master Drift 3.0 or it's your Rookie Drift 2.0 type thing. Like, from top to bottom, that'll work, whatever. Depending on car, sometimes I'll do a little bit more. Like if they've got a Super Drift, okay, maybe I do a couple other little things ahead of time because they'll grow into it. But generally not, unless they've already been driving a rental car for a while, or they had like some toy grade RC or a basher. They have some other discipline of RC and they have basic car control. Okay, if I do like a V2 and do a little bit more, shock change position, caster, maybe altering the motor position or some like more dramatic type stuff that way, or spring changes on the suspension, then there's no point. But otherwise, yeah, basic level tune is generally just toe and camber, front and rear, and make sure the shocks work, and some preload just to make sure you got some damping. So when you hit the brakes and throttle, the weight is actually moving around on the car instead of the car being pretty much pancake.
Brick. Yeah.
Because if the weight don't shift, that's hard enough. Because the weight will just it'll just abruptly go, and that's where spinny outy a lot happens. That kind of thing. And then just make sure no wheels touch on the arms as well. When when we got the steering lock, whatever, stoppers or not or whatever. Yeah, double check they got the right wheels.
Are you a supporter? Are you a supporter of wheel stoppers?
Yes and no. Particularly on like comp cars, high-end cars, or hot boy tunes. Don't really care for stoppers. I want my wheel to go over 90. I've illustrated on several videos where I'm like my typical Nezo over 90 tune, where the lead wheel is going over 90 degrees and kind of free floating or barely touching or close to the lower arm, that kind of a thing. But for general driving or just like a street car tune, or like some cars, particularly not so much the RDX, because the RDX, they have different sizes stoppers and stuff, but I've seen like a few Sharks, some TDP tunes, some GOMs even, and even Leo's Z's new car. They have a stopper, whatever size, but you're still pretty much cranking up to pretty close to 90, like between 80 and 90 degrees, and you're able to huck pretty 90 onto a wall. So some cars don't require the over 90 to actually achieve the drivability in that sense. So I've found some cars, leave the stoppers in, or some guys, they're tuning in, they're like, check it out, I got stopper in still, but look, and the car drives amazing. And I'm like,
cool.
Awesome. Like, that's mint, actually. That's pretty good, because generally, back in the day, like say 5 years ago or whatever, the number one thing I'd do is delete the stoppers, and then we'd optimize the geometry to then let's get close to 90, up to 90, because a lot of people want to huck it in, and they want to get maximum sideways entry angle. How do you do that? You got to get the lead wheel, at least lead wheel, or your whole steering to be pretty angled, so you can, right? And then it depends whether you want positive Ackerman or parallelisms or that sort of stuff, how much crab you want in that sort of driving feel. But stoppers is, to me, ultimately now it's driver preference. I used to be all anti-stopper, like delete those, like just get rid of them. Now I'm like, okay, it depends on situation, you know.
Slide Union saying, it's crazy to see Nezo's Ackerman setup. He's running it so open. There must be insane drag on the chase wheel. I think that goes back to preference, though. Like
some cars, yes, some cars, no. It depends, because you can alter that and all that sort of stuff. Because I'm not going to live constantly at 90 or like a hard like reverse entry sort of thing. Half the time, the over 90 is to catch the hot boyness of, oh, I'm over 90, yoink, and it brings you back. I can kind of illustrate it on my Opera, actually. Hold on. So if I bring this up here, I've got a lot of okay, hold on. The suspension is drooped. So if I push the suspension a bit where we're living, I still got a good amount of pre-tow out, but then as we move through, this one's a bit more exaggerated, I think, at the moment. I'm going to have to retune it. But the idea is, see how much Ackerman I already have, where the lead wheel, this guy over here, he's already pointing into the corner, right? But even still, even when I go to full 90 there, that's pretty much 90. It can go over, right? This here, I could still adjust this to give myself way more. And it's never going to live here, because it's going to go here and then it's going to come back and start living back out here, right? I just prefer a bit more positive Ackerman, and this is particularly because of low grip surface. I want the front end to be able to generate more grip, and I want it to be able to direct more by physical than the digital means, like the gyro and stuff, because I want the car, whatever direction we're going, I want the lead wheel to be like, yep. So when you actually forcefully counter the counter, and you're here and you over counter, the car's like, and it actually grips a bit and forcefully whips you over, so you can kind of drive it by steering instead of throttle, stuff like that. But that is a big driver preference thing, positive Ackermans. And even on Leo's new car, if you check out the new video of that, his setup is no toe. Then as you turn it, it goes positive right at the last second. So there's very little positive Ackerman, but there's still enough that when you change direction, the lead wheel still goes this way, this way. It's just very subtly noticeable, but it does do that. Well, it's more of a personal preference, because we're on the lighter grip surface. PTAL, you can get away with a bit more parallelism or higher castered cars, where the caster is doing way more of the work, and those type of cars, caster setup cars, to me, those are 80% front end, because the caster is doing a lot of that grip and directional action, and then the rear end is like 20%, where it's just being dragged along like, woohoo, I'm coming with you, and the front end's like, we're going here, we're going there. But I set up cars more 50-50, so to balance 50-50, I'll use a bit more positive Ackerman that way, so the front end does 50, and then when you hammer the throttle, the rest of it comes from the rear end. That's usually how I'll set up most people's cars on a general, depending V1, V2, V3, when we go up the scale. That's just how I'll start them. Later, if they're like, oh, I kind of don't like how that feels, or oh, I want it to feel more smoother in the front end, no problem. We'll alter it, go out there. What do you think? You don't like it? Can come back, we'll tweak it. That's the more fine tuning after the V progression, the V1, 2, 3. So it ultimately comes down to driver preference, the Ackermaning and parallelism and stuff like that. But if you find you have the negative Ackerman, where your chase wheel is doing more than your lead wheel, that's more like race car.
Yeah.
because leaning and the grip, and look at a Formula One car's front end, you'll see that the chase wheel is less chase wheel is more and lead wheel is less. You'll see that on a Formula One car. I find when you set up front ends like that, as soon as you try to turn in on the drift, you're like, yeah, and then whoa, it's like it just whips you because it's gripping the odd way, and that's for me and for most people it's way too hard to manage. Some people prefer it. They like a really heavy whip car, but I mean, if you tune it for it, it could probably work out. I've seen some pretty what looks like strange geometry setups, but then all of a sudden they work.
It works. Yep. I want to change it up a little bit here, because I remember your Traxxas videos.
Yes.
So the Fortec, when that came out, what were your initial reaction to it? And do you think that the actual, like, the handbrake thing is either teaching bad technique or bad habits, or is it something that could be cool in the near future?
Now, is that to do with one of the drive modes on the Traxxas, with the Traxxas electronics, where it did the braking for you or something like this, if I remember right? Something like this?
I believe that was also like mixed in, like a motor reduction when you're in drift. And then I was trying to remember here. And then there is also like the handbrake feature of it as well.
There was another feature in that thing, which I was impressed with how they remixed their Traxxas ecosystem to accommodate this all drift and make multiple modes and that sort of stuff. And I think there was either one of the, on the Traxxas radio, one of the buttons they had made as an e-brake.
Yep.
Sort of separate e-brake, I think. But then the idea was when you hit that, it was like a timed brake. So it was like 1, 2, 3 and drop. And you're kind of like, hey. And it wouldn't disengage until it timed out or something like this. But like when that car was announced, I was like, okay, it'll compare to the Red Cat on the lower scale. It's because it's RTR and all that stuff. And then I'm like, oh, okay, they're remixing the Traxxas ecosystem. Okay, because they have it all, whatever. I knew the servo wouldn't be powerful enough. I knew it was going to do the hunting thing. I could see it in the Super G promo video or wherever it was they filmed the promotional thing. Could see all that. We knew that. I was just concerned, how much angle did they give it? And what power did they give it, right? Of course, they gave it they didn't give it really enough angle, barely enough, just like 55 degrees or something, just barely enough. The servo was their basic servo, so okay, I knew that wasn't going to work. They had their management program, the stability management. They reworked that to become a gyro in the receiver, because that's what the stability is. It's basically a gyro in reverse to what we do it for. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, okay, fair enough. They didn't have to, incorporate something else or make their own device. They already had it in their receiver. And then they paired it with the XL5 speed control. Okay, they're all right. They get the job done. But 540 or 550 Titan 12 turn, whatever, brushed motor, and I'm like, not enough power, but all right, it's going to barely work out. We're going to be able to get a couple skids here a little bit, but it's going to be a bit warbly. And I'm like, okay, but then it came out, and I'm like, the body looks good. And I think somebody brought it to me. Yeah, one of the other YouTubers, I think Scale Builders Guild. I believe his name is Chris, I think if I remember. Scale Builders Guild. He's got a YouTube. He's around our area, along with another YouTuber, K-pop. We're about to do a video with him as well. But it was Scale Builders Guild who let me borrow the Traxxas so I could do those videos. And he was like, yeah, change stuff later, this, that, or whatever, and do the videos. But when I got it in hand, the body looked really good. The Dark Horse Mustang, I'm like, they modeled it really well because they're known for that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, what's underneath? I'm like, a Fortec with a different front end. You could rip the front end off, put a touring car front end, and go Fortecing, right? I'm surprised they didn't call it 2-tech. Rear-wheel drive. Sure. Missed opportunity. But I'm like, okay, so it's a Fortec with a drift front end that has barely enough angle, but it should work, and the basic Traxxas ecosystem, gave it a rip, and I'm like, okay, it drifts, and it's not supreme, it's not amazing, but it's kind of fun. It's not really competitive, and against all the other cars at the track, it's like kind of almost a fish out of water, but it was able to kind of hang, like it worked. And what was funny to me, I'm like, I'm having more fun with this Traxxas Fortec RTR than I did with the Red Cat RTR, because the Red Cat was listed as a competition spec RTR car, and it's got carbon fibers and this and that and blah blah blah, right? And all these comp ready features, and then you pulled it out of the box and it was like stiff as a board and it barely functioned, and it was a bit of a mess. And comparatively, Traxxas was like, here's a car, it kind of drifts. That's what it is.
Mhm.
It's just a drift car. It wasn't labeled as competition. It wasn't labeled as serious. You know, none of that. It was just, here's a car. It drifts. Yay. That's how
Right.
they marketed it. Like, it's just a simple drift car. And I'm pretty sure that's why it became as popular as it did. And it's still kind of out there, and they've made a new angle kit and some other stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, it functions, it works, whatever. It's a better example than the Red Cat. I was like, yeah, if it was my money, I would go buy a Traxxas Fortec versus a Red Cat. I could probably buy 2 Red Cats for the price of a bloody Fortec. But I'm like, no, the Fortec I'll have way more fun in. If I just bought it and took it to a tennis court for a day, oh yeah, I'd have total fun. Like, if that's what we were doing, if we were on a trip, oh look, we don't have our cars, let's buy a bunch of Fortecs and just send them in a parking lot. Perfect. That's really what they're for, right? Kind of like a basher drifter. But of course, sure, you could cut it all up and tune it up and do whatever you want. It's a tub style chassis. We have lots of those. Look at the MRC TTO1, TTO2 project. That thing blew up. Crazy angle with a box stock Tamiya TTO2, and I did reverse entries with one when someone built one box stock, plastic shocks, reverse entry. I'm like, MRC, bud. So I'm like, what if MRC or someone else makes a kit like that for a Fortec, or if we jerry rig some stuff, a YD2 stuff, for example, yoke bits onto that, easy peasy. And people were like, no, you won't be able to modify it, Nezo, you won't be able to do this. And I'm like, first of all, I'm going to change the electronics. That's going to change the game right there. Then I'm going to change the wheels. Now I got more angle and offset. Wow, now it already drives a bit better. Then I cut the knuckles. I think I didn't change the suspension, but I modified it so I could get some more ride height. And I put a shorty battery, moved it back, moved the electronics back, double-sided them further back in the chassis. They're like, the battery won't stay in place. I'm like, the battery holder flips for 2 size batteries. One side pushes it in. I'm like, so it works, yeah, but I'm like, as a comp car, no, it's not like a serious car. You'd have to spend a lot of time and money to make a Fortec, like, you know.
Speaking of time and money, Dow just said Futaba CD500 KS knuckles on a Fortec.
But you see something like that, I would love to do a video like that. It's like, today I got a Fortec in here. This is something not many people think is serious. What happens if I put Futaba drifty knuckles on this thing? What now? What if I door you all day long with this setup? What are you going to do? Go buy a GOM?
Well, I mean, just thinking about that is hilarious right now. Because, like,
it's hilarious, yeah.
Do we know what the US price point is for those knuckles? Like, I saw someone on like Marketplace for like 600, but that was like secondhand.
Do they come in a pair? Right?
They come in a pair.
They're like 450, 400 US price.
Okay, so
but they come in a pair though, right?
Yeah.
Okay, can you imagine one knuckle servo?
But think of it like, it's like, okay, so 450 for a pair, you have to buy a GYD 560, and you have to have 10px for 6PV, right?
So 10px 6PV and the 4FG receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it all are.
So like, think of how many Vortex you could buy just with that.
Quite a bit, but like something like that, you could like the project like that would be something that me on the Bad Shop, I would try something like that. If I still had that Fortec and someone was like, yo, I got these knuckles, you want to throw it on for like a funny video? I'd be like, yeah, of course. It's one of those, let's just see what happens today. To me, that's a better version of, you won't believe how badly I broke this. You won't believe the jump I sent it off of. This is, you won't believe the parts I put on a Fortec or put on a budget level drift car.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, so those, yeah, like, why not? But like, would you do that seriously? No. Would you upgrade a Fortec to take it into competitions? Not really, no, whatever. But I remember Super G's or SDC 2024, if I remember right, if the guys in the comments will remember. I looked at the entry list, or the quali list, or I think the quali results, whatever it was on one of the times, because we were following it. We were following all the stuff those times. And we like to follow that up here. Like, oh, check it out. Or who's so-and-so? Yeah, they're from our hood. I was looking at the chassis, particularly who was driving what. Lots of Sharks, lots of RDXs, lots of SD1s, 2s, Yokomos, a couple of YD2s, some TDPs, some GRKs even.
Are you referring to DJ's year where it was him and one other RMX in the mix? No.
No, there was a couple RMXs. Yeah, there was at least, well, okay, there was a couple RMXs, different variants, and then there was, a few other, like an FXX 2.0 or something. But then, sort of in the middle, because there was like 100 some people qualified towards the middle of the whole thing, I see one D5 Outbreak V2, and I'm like, yeah, Sakura, yeah. What do I see, like right near it, somewhere in the mix? Red Cat RDS, and I'm like, how much work did that man put into that Red Cat to get it where it is like 50th or 60th out of 105 or whatever it was people in the quali? And I'm like, that's the only Red Cat, and it's very close to the only D5. This was before the D6, right? So I'm like, okay. And I'm like, somebody did it. Somebody made the Red Cat real nice. Now, if you do the particular things to the Red Cat, which I've been mentioning forever, ball cups, ball studs, a few other things, change the shocks, it can become quite a decent car. I've seen quite some gnarly builds, and other people's, at Strictly or whatever that I helped or whatever, we had a couple of really nice jamming Red Cats. But what happened was, as soon as those people with their jamming Red Cats, as soon as they drove an RDX, a D6, or even a Super Drift or a Rookie Drift 2, they were like, okay, there's way more car in these other cars than my hopped up Red Cat. And a week or two or a month later, bang, they were into a D6. They were into an RD or RDX or an MST or something other than that Red Cat. And they're like, they just left the Red Cat behind, literally. They didn't even bother selling it to anyone else. They just put it away, and that's it. They had their fun, but they were like, no. But like, yeah, nowadays, what would I recommend between a 4-Tech and a Red Cat? A 4-Tech, 100%. But now, besides the Traxxas, sort of on the RTR wave, we have, the MSTs, they've been number one. The 4.0 is coming, the RMX 4.0 RTR. Kyosho.
The phaser.
So Kyosho has the phaser, which as soon as I saw that, I'm like, flavors of RDX all over that bad boy. I'm like, oh yeah, I can see that. That's beautiful inspiration. But I've seen some in the flesh, drove some. They drove pretty nice when you change the electronics.
Yep.
Box stock, really, which is cool. And we heard a while ago HPI was doing, finally, some sort of rear-wheel drive something, right? It's in the mix. It's about to drop, I think.
Yeah, pretty much.
I
believe that's correct.
And I can reveal that I will be doing some kind of video soon with K-Pop RC, or another local guy here. He does all kinds of stuff. I'm going to do a collaboration with him for another RTR car, and it's going to be that HPI. And he said, yeah, just waiting for it, and then we'll meet up and we're going to shoot that. And we're going to do it two-part. He's going to do the main, like, here it is, the new thing, the breakout video. Then I'm going to do more technical stuff. All right, let's deep dive. Let's this. I'll do my shakedowns and all that. That's what we're going to do. So very excited, because it's going to be similar to the Red Cat, but we're going to do a bunch of new stuff. So he'll do a couple videos, and I'll do a bunch more on the technical, really core community drift side.
Right on.
So yeah, that's going to be neat. And he sent me some photos, 2 photos, because I think he got it recently. Yeah, he did. He sent me 2 photos. It looks, the body on it looks pretty good. I don't want to say nothing, but the body looks amazing. HPI, they know what they're doing, or whatever. And I had a sort of brief look at the chassis from the way he took the photo, and I'm like, okay, I can see some inspirations of some things, some throwback HPI-ness, and also current generation-ness. So that's going to be pretty nice when that happens. So that'll be happening in another week or 2, I think. Filming. I don't know when it will drop or whatever, but that's coming. So we're going to have at least 6 or 7 drift RTRs on the market, right? So that's good. I mean, the Traxxas thing was interesting though. So yeah.
Yeah. I do. Oh, Genki's asking, what was your first drift car?
Okay. So let me think back. Like very first drift car.
Do all-wheel drive? Because you probably had one of those. And
we
then
all started pretty much with an all-wheel way back then, yeah.
Well, we're in the generation where that doesn't happen. DJ didn't start with an all-wheel drive.
Yeah, a lot of
what the heck is that thing, dude?
A lot of people, well, some people don't even, like Adam, some people don't know. They don't know about counter steer.
I know!
Drift, CS drifting.
Yeah, also, what is that, dude?
We did a whole era of CS. So for simple breakdown, before I get another drink here, all-wheel drive drifting, what we used to call 50-50. All-wheel drive drifting to me is rally car driving. Rally car drifting, you're full power on. It's, you got to hit the brakes, full power. You don't have much steering angle. You're just rally carring your way around. That's how you skid the car around. All 4 wheels powered, and just, it's kind of scary because you have to do everything on power. So that's 50-50 drifting. CS drifting, counter steer, was 4 wheels driven. Okay, all 4 wheels of the car driven, but either the front were underdriven or the rears were overdriven on the drivetrain ratio. So this is not a power differential, like 30% power, 70% power. No, this is, so the front wheels turn 1.0 on the drivetrain ratio, right? 1.0. Now Now the rear wheels are doing 1.6.
Yep. Or
That was
you
good.
go the Sakura D3 route and it's 2.31 or something like that.
That's what I pretty much for CS. That's what I started with, Sakura D3 for CS. But for 50/50, the very first was a Tamiya TL01, and I put Tamiya Type A drift tires on it. Just whipped it around skate parks and stuff, and my buddies loved it. And we were sending them off ramps and stuff. That was the first one, and then the CS car was the Sakura D3, and then a couple people converted those to rear wheel, and then from the CS Sakura thing, which we thought that would be easier, but you're still doing stuff on power, even with a one-way front differential, which would break the front wheels when you hit the brakes and you turn in your drive shafts, and it was still kind of power and messy, and it wasn't smooth. Then when we did rear wheel, I ended up getting an Eagle Racing R31. That was my first rear wheel chassis, and it was blue. Yeah, it was blue. I think I got it secondhand too. And that's where I learned, oh yeah, put the battery on the diffuser. Oh wow, this thing drifts amazing now. Okay, I'm not doing anything else. And then the World Championships, they outlawed that. Okay, back to the drawing board.
Well,
let's learn how to tune a car.
I mean, that's before we figured out the actual golden motor layout, right?
That too.
Because that was front mid motor, right? R31.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
R31 was front. TA05 was the TA05 Eagle was front mid, like the DIBs, Yoko DIBs.
Right.
Front mid behind the front axle. Yeah, we were doing a lot of that front motory stuff. And it wasn't really till the YD2 dropped, 2016. Bang! It looked like a touring car, but it had all this angle, and it was all LCG. You know, everything was mostly centered, big chassis plate, but that was the major game changer. Was they figured out all the angles and stuff, and they nailed that. The only people before that was really MST, kind of Eagle Racing, and a few other brands. Like they come up now and then, Orali and all those old things.
Orali is a hidden gem because like the concepts that he had were so amazing. Like we talk about like nerds, right, and the Lebao like adjustable dampers. Well, he already had that like way before that.
Mm-hmm. It was like different designing and stuff, but even back then it was like ahead of its time. And people are like, right, like,
yeah, like, why are you doing this in RC? Like, why? What's the need? But yeah,
was there another brand called XEX or something, or something like? There was, or maybe it's a car called the XEX, and it might have been four wheel converted to rear, kind of like how some of the D-like stuff was way back then.
XEX is a overdose car.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, way like back in the Vacula, all that stuff days.
And then Baco's got it right. Street Jam, JXR.
Team
Magic. Team Magic was in the mix too.
Team Magic's, yep. Because Team Magic did touring cars too, but then they started to do this a bit because four-wheel drives and that. Speaking of Street Jam, I still have a Street Jam Hilux truck. I think it's sitting at the shop. I still have one of those. And people are like, "Oh, cool Hilux, can I buy it?" And I'm like, "No, you have several $100s because good luck finding one of these." Then my buddy Sebastian, shout out to him, Tall Seb, guys will know him at the track. Mm-hmm. I said, "Oh yeah, you remember this body, Sebi, from way back in 2015, whatever, when we ran it on track, and the little sticker stuff." He goes, "Yeah, that's cute. I have one brand new in package, sealed in my storage unit." I'm like, "What? Why?" He's like, "Cause valuable. Good luck finding one." I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "I have two." And I'm like, "Shh, stop talking. Don't ever let me. Don't let people see those. If they know, they know. They will.
Right. They will want it.
Yeah, all those old brands and stuff. I was thinking something JXR, something Jaguar, something. Yeah, there was all those. Now I didn't get into any of those brands. Those were like I found out about those later. Mm-hmm. But the local scene, Strictly was very young then when I found it back in 2014. They had 150 members on Facebook. They had just done a little meetup in a community center. It was just guys meeting up places and Tamiyas, Eagles. Some people had MSTs. A couple guys had FXX VIPs, and that's how I met a couple people. Leo Z, when I first met him, 2014, I think it was. He already had FXX VIP, and it was mostly decked out. And I was like, "RC cars can do this?" I'm like, "I'm here. Yes, more." But I was like, "Oh, that's a pricey car. Okay, I'm not getting that right away." But then later I did get it, and I was like, "Oh yeah, they nailed it way back when they launched that car in 2013." Because I look back and I'm like, they brought out this FXX VIP front motored thing, very scale looking, whatever, in 2013. I'm like, holy. And then I found later 2014, like, oh, drift scene, oh, drift RC is a thing. Oh, I don't have to skid my Tamiya around. Okay, it can do can do angle.
So
Stuff like that.
FXX VIP was my first rear-wheel drive car. I bought
Nice.
it, and I thought I made the biggest mistake ever. Like,
Really?
$660 chassis.
It was expensive, yes. It was
I
some
had
coin.
I had no idea what I was getting into. Like, no idea, no concept of tuning, no. Like, that was my first gyro that I ever had, and it was the first MST gyro, and it was like, that sucked too. Then all sorts of
stuff.
things combined.
That's sort of, a lot of that stuff wasn't too bad once you got to understand it, because I used to think the same, like, this gyro or this multi-mode crap, whatever, stop it, just work. And then, oh, actually, it's not so bad, just
Yeah.
figure it out. But,
Yeah.
but that car, yeah, it had a lot of carbon and aluminum, right? When you got it, it was, like, pretty much decked out, although some things, yes.
The
more upper
arms.
arm diff
yeah.
case, or, okay, yeah, you can fully VIP it, but it came quite kitted out. It was quite a piece of kit.
Mhm. Yep. DJ, you're being asked which body you're working on.
This is the Addiction GR86 that I've been slowly but surely working on. We're doing masking, getting closer to paint, so I've been thinking about paint schemes and whatnot. And another one just popped up in my head thanks to James.
Okay. Let's change this up since we're pretty much nearing the end line, the finish line here. So here's that roast my rig section that we were talking about, Nezo.
Oh,
So-
yes, the roast my rig thing, yeah.
Yeah, if you haven't already, if you pin my screen to the front, you'll be able to see it. Or if you have the Discord up, you'll be able to just individually roll through the pictures here.
Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah.
So we've
I
got Miko's chassis right here.
Yes, he's running MC3, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Purple trophy with all the purple electronics. This might be paid off. I don't know.
This is the winter
Just
roasting.
kidding.
Like,
Miko.
hey, right? Like, oh, it's all matching. That's cool. Even the rear disky wheel thing. Although I'm a bit colorblind, so maybe it doesn't match exactly. But to me, it looks very similar. What a motif. Although I like purple, so this is hard to roast. Damn.
Uh,
Hi. Does his
I like
MC3?
that handle.
Can we see if he has the active rear toe or not? can't tell.
Let's take a
can't
closer
tell.
look.
Because they're very similar performance with or without. The RDX MC3 works really well with or without it. Like it's quite interesting that way.
What do you think of the sway bar system, Nezo?
Well,
I run that on my RDX. I like it.
at first I was like, all right, the base concept of a sway bar, we're controlling roll, but then I'm like, I want the weight shift to go with the roll. I need it to roll, but then I'm like, okay, if people are going to run it, they're trying to control their roll for whatever reason. So I'm like, okay, driver preference ultimately. But at first I thought, why, right? Like, why even bother? But now with more different tuning things and different bulkheads or whatever, I'm noticing a lot more people running different sway bars or whatever. And I think it's just driver preference, like how you like the feel.
RDX does
Yeah.
not roll. Dr.
Right?
H.
It's just an RDX thing, sway bars, right? Like, no one else really cares. But it's just an RDX guy thing. Reeve D. It's a Reeve D thing.
So
Yeah, my RDX, I run pretty stiff.
as the
I've
RDX
noticed
goes.
a bunch of RDXs, I've noticed they run them more with the progressive or stiffer in the rear or whatever.
Yeah.
It does not roll. Yeah, you will not roll. That's
So I want to focus on this weight picture because it says the all-up weight of his MC3 is 1450.
battle ready. We're assuming with
Battle, yeah, battle ready.
Mhm.
Now, I remember when, like, we were weighing in just regular RDXs, they were like barely making weight. It was the most hilarious thing ever. And now we're adding
overall
weight.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the base RDX when it first came out with battle ready, it was what, barely 1,200 grams total, something like 1,250 or something, I think.
It was so light that people had to add weight over to the rear axle, basically.
I guess some people were rolling it at 1,100 or 1,150.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, or their bias was way off, right? They didn't have the right biasing. If they were following that, I don't think we're doing that anymore, or well, some people aren't anymore.
Not here. At
Like
least
that old 30. What was it? 6733. That thing.
Yeah, I don't think that's
6733
not an SDC thing.
No, we did that in SDS, the Scale Drift series. That was a thing.
Gotcha.
Oh wow, we did it in a couple others as well. I noticed, but then other series weren't doing it. They were concentrating more on overall weight and rear axle specific weight. No more than I think 1200 over rear, or no more than 1100 over rear axle specific. So I think they got rid of the bias and just focused on the whole weight.
Mhm. So this is coming from Riva's RC in Discord.
Ooh.
I'm DJ.
Hello.
Oh, overdose car. Yes.
Look at this thing.
Overdose.
So, just right off the bat here, the servo horn is like a clipped servo horn of some sort.
Oh.
Yeah, I just taking that in. Yeah.
Yo,
Cut the horn to fit the I can.
I don't want to see this. Dude.
Why? No, right? Like, awesome, nice.
Yo,
servo gyro
it gets
combo.
worse.
And then we have
oh my
the top
gosh.
shocks here.
Those are
Oh, they
some
are-
gnarly set screws you got in there, bud. I'm pretty sure your local track probably has some smaller ones that you should
Oh,
probably
Jesus.
throw in there.
Oh wow. It,
And then we have the
The quad
550.
stacked 550. I mean,
oh man, the double side and them screws are missing out of the preload collars. They're gone.
Now,
They went
do
by
you think it's because he was too afraid to tighten them just
Tighten them and
enough?
Put them in. You just
And-
put them in snug. That's all. Just a little snug. Pink. You don't ugga dugga them, right? Everyone wants to ugga dugga stuff. What else do we see with the trained overdose eye?
This is
Oh,
this has
That
the.
pinion gear. That pinion gear is not looking too healthy. It's starting to go. It's
I feel
got
like
lots of
this
wear
is
on it.
the velocity stack that lost the velocity stack.
Yeah, ain't no stack
on
on that one.
There's a
It does
lot.
have the Accuvents though. I like that. Oh, and a Luxon motor. I like those. Yes, that's good. I'll give him points for that. Missing stack minus 100. But otherwise, I guess the rig looks pretty good. Yeah. Here in the front end, yeah. Yeah, overall not bad. Couple of interesting things. That was where if I was doing a just rolled in the shop, awesome overdose car, broken servo horn. What's up with that? Anyways, moving on, right? Like, just point out the silly things.
Then we got a pink SD3.
Ooh, a pink SD3. This kind of will be hard to roast unless we find some really interesting things because I like pink.
Did anyone
And-
else see that Super G got the the Yokomo spur gear holders in?
Oh, you can buy them? Those new ones?
Yep.
They brought them separate? Ooh, fancy.
Black is in stock. Purple and red are out of stock. I think blue is in stock.
And pink probably still in stock?
I don't think they had pink.
Oh, they didn't. Of course they didn't, because pink was that one-off limited color like the bronze. Probably not.
We do have a kind of a messy hairdo going on here.
Oh, with the wires? Yeah, a little
Yeah, that
bit.
sensor
That is
wire
a
is
function over
long.
form. I do that a lot, especially in shakedowns. I'm like, just get it together, get it running. I don't care how the wires look, but then when I take a photo for thumbnail, I'm like, oh, geez, the wires are like way out now there, and I'm trying to like Photoshop around these freaking wires that are just frayed everywhere. Oh, I should have made it prettier a bit.
So this is from XS420 240 SX.
Ooh.
This is the knob. Yeah, this is the knob.
Oh, nice. Which chassis is this?
So it's a GRK conversion.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm like, yeah, I see the GRK-ness, and I was like, well, which flavor spiciness does it have on it? Oh, an
Hey-
Accuvant.
hey,
Yes, Accuvant
Chris.
glow.
This is a GS2 mod, or is it coming from something
Yeah.
else? Yeah.
No, it's GS2.
Oh, that's a GS2. Let me see. Let me see.
Yeah, but it comes with all the fancy stuff.
Okay. I see it now because one of our buddies, one of the boys at the track, Maxi, I did feature on his car. He has GRK with the GS2 mod and an MC2 as well. It's like 3-in-1 he did. And the battery is that one where the battery like leans back and is like propped up sideways in the chassis, like
Yeah.
sitting as if it's like sitting here like this, like, hey, and it's just, and you can move the battery up and down like that.
It's just
Really
chilling.
cool. but that's the combination of the GS2 mod and the MC2.
Wait, are you talking about like the UK Works one where the battery's like vertical?
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
Okay.
It's UK Works. So he did that. He did GRK, GS2, the GRK GS2 car, the freaking version, and then MC2, and then UK Works. That's what he did. Yes, I have a video. We did a video on it. But yeah, because the diffuser and all that stuff is very well done out, but then the battery is all interesting. So this one's very similar then. That's cool. Very good.
So, okay,
I like
before I show this next picture, you know how, like, when you first get your Apple device and, like, or like a Mac, and the first thing that you open up is like Photo Booth and take a lot of dumb pictures in Photo Booth?
Yeah.
So, I feel like that's the same thing when people get the Futaba Knuckles.
Oh,
Like,
yes.
Some
yes.
odd, dumb angle.
It's obligatory. You have
this-
to.
I'm just gonna pull a random name. Is this Dow?
Yes. Yes, sir, it is.
That has to be tradition, and we have a saying in Canada: you don't mess with tradition. So if this is the new thing, every time someone gets one of those, and they do line myself, boys, right? Or like, you have to now. If I get a set for video, I will post somewhere or a little short. Yep, did the alignment myself, and it'll be all crooked, just like that. Or this, that is the new obligatory. That is a now. I'm setting it now. That's a new meme standard. We can officially run with that. It's okay to post those. It's yes, I'm part of the club. Otherwise, the rest of the car looks pretty nice. RDX derived with MC, not MC, but Reeve D plate. I think yes, no.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's funny actually with all these conversions and different conversion versions of other remixes or whatever. It's sometimes it's actually kind of hard to tell what the base car actually was.
Mm-hmm. There was a shark on whatever wow, I can't talk, Facebook page. I think it was the Super G page. He was like, I don't know what car this is. Well, it's a shark, but it had the Romeo spec chassis on it.
Ooh.
Like, it looked good because I have that same chassis, but
and then
Yeah.
identifying them or looking at it, I'm like, okay, I see Team AD, I see this or this, and I'm like, but what was the base car? And I'm,
the D5 Outbreak, like, that's a great example of that. Because who puts out a gold carbon chassis?
Yeah, or just even when you look at that, some people are like, what is this exactly? I'm like, it's a D5. Really? Like, yep, the Outbreaks. Oh, and then they start to see it, but it's really a D5, or it started life as a D5.
Yep. It's the official Rev D carbon decks for the RDX.
They're running 64 pitch gears. Ooh, nice.
That's a
And
Dow thing.
It's a
I just
Merv
noticed that.
too.
Yes. Oh, the 380 motor. Yes. A couple guys running 380 motors at our track. Not too many, but a couple guys. And I noticed 380 motors becoming way more popular now, especially in front motor cars, which I was like, oh, a 380 motor and an FXX VIP, that thing would probably slap now, and throw the 2.0 active rear on it. Before I sold my FXXs, I actually thought of doing this. I still have two. They're plastic ones, but I was like, 380 motor and get some active rear tow up in there instead of putting the battery on the upper deck 3D mounted or whatever we used to do, or diffusing it.
Yep.
Like, oh, that would breathe life into that old girl.
I still have one.
So yeah.
What do you got, DJ?
It's not a bad one. I'm pretty sure it's using. I see some aluminum or it's probably titanium hardware, but then there's one steel screw down in there.
Where are you looking at?
Leo's car.
Right to the right of the bullet terminals.
Not here.
Go up a little bit.
Oh,
Down
here?
in there. Right in there.
I think. Oh yeah, I meant to put a photo of Leo's car. Let me go get that real quick.
What's going on in there, buddy?
I don't know what's going on right here. This is a mess. Dow, what are you
look at-
doing?
oh yes, just that is the. I want to drive it. Just go tuck in there. I'll deal with you later. I don't have zip ties on hand. That's what that is. I do that all the time.
Yeah,
Or
but then
when
you leave it like that.
I usually will, yes. Or if it's a customer's car, I'm like, look, I've made it work. I am function over form. You now make it pretty how you like. The best part is when they make it pretty, they come back and like, oh yeah, can you do this, or can we do this now extra later? And I'm like, nice zip tie and all tight arrangement, but I need to get in there. Cut. and explode all their wires. And they're like, don't worry, I'll make it pretty again. I'm like, okay.
What in the world motor plate is this?
I was just trying to figure out what photo that was on.
This looks
That
like
looks
like an RC art thing.
or a one of one custom. I did it myself, but it looks really nice. It's got a lot of
What photo
venting.
is that? Oh, is that on the scale? Yeah, it's the one on the scale.
It's decent.
So,
That looks
okay.
good.
Dow, are you the person on like a stereo receiver? Do you leave the stickers on? I'm curious. You left the stickers on your scales.
Maybe you just wanted to be different, man.
Oh no,
Everyone
I feel like it's an Asian thing.
Oh shoot, that's true.
1337 all up.
There we go.
Without a body though.
13 something without a body.
So
'Cause
that
we-
probably put it at 1450, almost 15.
Yeah, body were like 100 grams.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
I only kinda
1337 with body is what he's saying.
One photo. That's good enough. I put one photo of Leo's car because it's just a pull from the video, but it's enough you can zoom around it and have a little look-see in the Roast My Rig.
Let's do that right now.
Yeah, so that's an on-track action shot. But you can kind of get an idea of how he's designed it, what he's done. I kind of like the cross pieces between the shocks. I like that because that's all adjustable for flex or all that sort of stuff, bracing or whatever. But he does have at least 10% of Reeve D parts up in it and the overdose shocks or whatever. Reeve D bell crank, Reeve D knuckles, Reeve D uprights, rear arms, and rear toe blocks. But then he'll finish those parts soon. But those were just to get the thing to where it's at now. But works pretty dang good. And
He's
very
got
low
the-
CG for the most part.
The Baula
And he has
dampers.
He has the Bella clicky bell thingy. Yeah. I forgot
It's a
the name
good
of
looking ESC right there.
it. The Maclan. I finally got to look at one up close and personal because Leo got one. I'm like, ooh, the Maclan. Yeah, I keep seeing these all around and people starting to run them, and I'm like, I want to check it out. It looks good.
It's a great product.
Soon I want to try one. I actually want to try one or review one or whatever. But yeah, he's the first one to kind of bring one in house. So I got to drive the car a little bit, but I want to in-depth play with it. But yeah, so that's the Leo LZ01 prototype as he's calling it right now. And if I had a better picture of the rear end or the gearbox, he did his own gearbox design. It's derived from like RDX and a couple other cars, but the rear motor sits literally on top of the rear diff. Like it's like bang perfectly right there. That's how he ended up designing it. Because that's what a lot of car designers are chasing right now, getting that motor weight right over the rear axle. So yeah. And he said to me yesterday when we filmed it, probably he's hoping within a couple months to have production up and going. He's at that point. He's pretty close. And he's going to do full kit and I think a conversion. But yeah, because people have been asking. So I just wanted to put that out there now. He's definitely on the way to production, hopefully in a few months. We'll see.
Make sure he prices accordingly.
Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure because, people like to always tell me overdose is so expensive, and I'm like, so tell me about these $90 Reeve D knuckles. Tell me about this Team AD $200 front end. Tell me about TDP's $700 Canadian front end. I'm like, it's all relative. Doesn't matter what you really buy. It's just overdose is harder to get. Yes, it's more niche that way, whatever. But the quality is right up there, and if you sell it used 3 years later, you'll get all your money back. You won't with a Team AD. You won't with any other brand really. What other brand do you really get maximum value back? RC. Nothing really other than overdose, as far as I know, or that I've seen in the last 10 plus years of drift.
Right.
unless whatever. There's brands that hold value, yeah, but overdose you can pretty much sell every parts or car for max value.
Okay.
From what you've seen.
We're gonna burn through these next few pictures here.
Yeah.
So we got a SC3 and a GRK5R.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, there's two GRK5Rs and the SD3, and then there's a video a little bit later. But my only roast, because it comes in the video portion of it, he has his purple golem pretty much ready to go, and it just needs a front bumper. Take the front bumper off one of those Shibata cars and put it on the golem. Like, geez.
Because they're overdose bumpers, right? Yeah. It's like, why? Why? It's like, no, car's complete. Can't touch it. I know his thinking there. No, car's complete. I can't take it off. I take it off, it's gonna wreck the whole car's balance and everything. No. But I'm
You'll
with you there.
survive.
Wow.
Complete the other
Why?
car. Complete the other car and get the. But
Why?
those bigger bumpers, those older for Gen 1s or type, whatever types those are, those version of them, they're really hard to find now, I think, on the open market.
Whoever that is, hit me up. I got a bunch of Kazan front bumpers, GRK front bumpers. All right? Hit me up, okay?
Right? The bumper geometry is same, it'll work.
So this is our boy Chris,
Oh, yeah.
GRK driver.
Decent. All I see is a shell.
Yeah.
It's just, okay, so
Yeah.
we're roasting the car in the shell. There's no chassis.
It's his new shell that he just got from James, one of our local guys who's been
Oh, nice.
cooking up some bodies lately, and I'm
Jeez.
assuming Chris had him do up a body for him, and this is an all paint body, other than one sticker being on the back window,
Oh, yeah.
but
That came out
yeah,
all right, though.
all
Thank you for
paint looks
this.
very sick.
Dude, when did James come out with the 3D stickers?
Ooh.
This is James, man. He's probably had this stuff.
You're right. Okay. This is from Clum. Mind the small picture from zooming.
They sent a thumbnail. They're like, he roasted my car. Thumbnail. It's like, all right, well, it looks like a 1/24th scale, first off.
Yeah.
That pinion gear, why is it so thin?
It's
It was a
nylon.
buggy one, right?
Yeah, it's a race buggy.
fascinating.
Race thing. Honestly,
They're really loud.
That's
no.
I ran out of pinions, so I reached into my racing box.
These
no,
should
but
be
he's got
quieter.
He's got the limited edition Spur Gear overdose Spur Gear thing, number 629. Ooh.
I will say though, like the first time that I ran this motor plate on my GOM transmission, like a metal gear will eat the stock idler gear. So this idea, I did this too, and like it saves your idler gear. And I swapped it from an overdose one to a Yokomo one.
So when I had that set up, I ran a 99 spur and 40 pinion.
99.
Golly.
You got
That's
no
huge.
choice. It won't work. You have to run that
Was
because
that-
I see why they're running the counter gear. Because if he took it out,
Oh.
he wouldn't be able to reach it.
I see
No,
it. Yeah. With this
Yeah.
setup. Yeah.
Sometimes limitations of the hardware, you have to run goofy gear things, and it's like, are you running a burn tune? It's like, no, I just literally have no choice.
I think I was still like with everything else. I think I was still at at FDR at like a 8.0, something around there.
Hmm.
But yeah, that was the setup. It's fun.
Nice. Otherwise, that's nice. Yes, but yeah, that funky race gear. That's where it's like beautiful purple GOM, amazing, so overdose, very well. But WTF pinion gear, dude. Like, that's the thing that stands out the hardest on that whole build. It's like pinion gear. That's the only roast. That's it. Like beautiful. And then I was like, what the hell is that weird green gear?
it's a
Great
thing.
success. Right? It's a thing.
It's a
It's been a
thing.
long time since I've seen one of those. That's funny.
Okay. And then I skipped over this one. I'm not going to show the video because that takes effort for me to pull up and put it into VL to the
Oh, yeah.
screen here.
Whose body's that?
Jack My Cactus.
Nice.
Is that all paint?
It's an
I
overdose
believe he
livery.
said yes. Yeah, he said all paint. At least in the Discord, that he said that this is all paint. I don't know who Super V is, but that's probably the painter.
Yeah, if you did the entire overdose livery in paint, that's pretty impressive.
It has to be
Is
airbrush.
that a Malaysian painter? Super V.
I'm gonna be looking it up really quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds familiar. Oh, Super V. Yeah.
Yeah, Super V made.
Sort of sounds familiar.
Man, that came out nice.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
fade on the weld, that's epic.
That's got to
cool.
be airbrush. Like either that's really
The
hard to do with
Philippines?
rattle can. Like that'll take you forever with rattle can, but that came out really well when they did that. Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
Philippines?
that's right.
Okay.
They got a massive scene down there, that's for sure.
A lot
Big.
of good painters too.
All
Yeah,
right, you
dude.
guys. We
don't
are
even need
past
super
time,
chats.
so
Oh, it's time to end. Oh,
we're gonna end it here.
Yeah, we don't even need the super chats to go this long.
Yeah, right. Let me pull my calendar up here. To
Yeah, my computer calendar is not the same.
so, as far as next week goes, we've got another new person coming on. We've got Kyle Min. He's the owner and operator of, I don't know if it's a play, but it's Max Speed Shop over in Ohio. So over by you, right, Chris?
oh, I see that posted every now and then. Yeah.
I have no idea.
Dayton. He's over in Dayton. Anyway,
In Ohio? Ohio's pretty far from me.
okay.
He's lived at that track for so long, he doesn't know the outside world anymore.
Right. But he's gonna be on our stream next week, so that should be fun. We'll get his views, his track aesthetic for Ohio. You can still see your track, Chris.
I know. I can't wait to cross. Yeah.
He's itching to go drifting.
Right, it's like
Oh yeah. This is the fun launch zone right here. This you just hit the straight and just launch. Oh yeah.
Mint.
But then again, I keep that in the track layout, so you can do it. Yeah. Well,
Anyways, so we got that coming up. We've got Justin Johnson. He's the guy that's developing a new gyro, like an open source gyro. Like if you've seen on Facebook, it's like the little, like a circular screen, and he's plugging it into like a servo and running it. So that'll be cool.
Ooh,
And
nice.
that's all that we have scheduled so far. So the invitation goes out again if you want to be on the stream. And I should totally do this at the beginning of the stream. I don't know why. But if you want to be on the stream, just hit me up, hit Logan up, hit DJ up. We'll all give you the link to schedule a calendar on the calendar, and we'll get you on. Does not take any effort outside of just maintaining a conversation, I promise.
Yeah.
So before we end, Nezo, do you have any shout outs that you'd like to give?
Well, I'd like to shout all the boys out at Strictly Sideways and everyone that helps me with the channel there. There's quite a lot of them, all the test drivers and other guys that bring me stuff, this and that. But the whole Strictly Sideways crew, the elite crew up in Quebec there, the French Connection, and then every other place out here in Canada. Basically, yeah, all the drifters out here in Canada, because a lot of them is what keeps me going here. But then a shout out to all the rest of you too, all you guys here on the podcast and all the rest of the RC Drift community, because we're kind of all, we're all in it. And yeah, I can't keep doing what I'm doing without the rest of everyone else doing what they're doing. So we all bounce off each other. But yeah, just shout out to really everybody, but big up to Strictly Sideways and Elite Drift Shop.
Right on. Keenan Pepper, shout me out.
Yes, yes. Shout out to Keenan, yes. He just got a new car, actually. He just got a Score D6, so
Nice.
second car life. You know what that's like? Oh, second car, compared to the first car. And then, yeah, so.
Oh, you mean
yes.
like 6-car life? Yeah.
It's going to be soon. 7-car, 6-car life. Keenan, actually, he represents kind of the next generation, because I think he told me he's 16, whatever. He's in that age bracket. So he represents the next generation of the drifting youth, and this and that. So, yes, sir. Hopefully I see him again soon. He lives quite far from the track. That's the only other thing, right? Like, if you live really far from the track, it's hard to get there. But if you get there, go for it a long time. So hopefully I get to see him again soon and bang some doors, for sure.
Right on. And Chris, I know that you didn't talk all that much, but you were there, you were present. And honestly, I kind of think I like doing a live track, just stream on the stream.
That's mint. Yeah, that's mint, actually. That's what sparked my earlier in the thing, like, I should connect in from a track, or Strictly or something, or somewhere other than my bedroom.
Well, it was like when you hit me up, I was like, I mean, I'm doing this, but you know what? I guess, I'm gonna still do this. So
yeah, man,
it's a good idea.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. The new layout's gonna be done by this weekend, and it's gonna be sick.
All right.
So.
Oh, question, Adam. Question for you.
Mhm.
Have you ever have you done a podcast yet where it was kind of like everyone chose to work on something, and while you were all working on a project, you were all talking at the same time? or is it just kind of happen where okay, I'm gonna work on this body. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, some guy's gonna do nothing.
Oh, it's just me. I just work.
You just
Well,
work. Okay.
We've tried doing a Car X stream and like actually talk about stuff, and that didn't work at all. Like
Yeah, it's a little bit too demanding. Yeah, a little everything. Yeah.
yeah, too much focus on the game and whatnot. I think it would be fun. Like I could do like FPV flying around the track while everyone's drifting, but at the same time, it becomes into that instead of actually talking. So,
Yeah. But I feel like next time if I was to come back, I would like set up the broadcast somewhere else on my side. Then I could have more of a workbench and maybe work on stuff or
For sure.
be in that type of area or at a track, something I thought of just now. But yeah, I mean I'd be open to that. That'd be
right
cool.
on. Okay, you guys hang out because we always do a post stream thing. And to everybody else, thanks for coming in. Thanks for chatting with us. It's always fun. It's always a good end of my work week. It's great.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'm not going to the track. I got these new they're called free skates if you haven't seen them before.
Oh, no way.
So
Free skates.
I got these.
Yeah.
I was trying these in the garage before I was doing the stream. I suck at this. So it'll take a while to
Yo,
learn.
bring those Saturday. Bring those Saturday.
Bring them Saturday.
All over.
Bring them Saturday. I'm so down.
Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. We will see you guys later. Have a good night.
Peace.